Hello, Durud and Shalom. We be live. Hi, Monkey.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, good. I have a lot to review today. There's a lot happening. I want to see your reaction and other people's reactions in the chat. With everything, all the recent updates. There's so many different people with their takes. What we're going to do is we're going to show it. We're going to show the clips and analysis of multiple people and respond to them one by one. I think this is a better format, so that people, when we're doing this, people don't get bored. Like if we keep going like from beginning to end, like one show of Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes or Piers Morgan, people are going to be like, okay, I'm done listening to Piers Morgan. Can we go to someone else? So I think like if we keep like switching it up, go from one clip to another, and then that way we get updated on the news, and that way we could also get other people's perspective on things and our perspective and the chat's perspective all at the same time. And I think that would be a lot more educational and fun for everyone, right? What do you think about this format?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so let's go with this first one. I don't know if we play this. I think this is a new clip. Let's listen.
But today, as I sit here, there are people in this country who want you to just keep going and attack the President of the United States for using the leverage that you gave him to engage in negotiation. Why do we engage in negotiation? Because of you. It's not out of weakness, but it's out of strength. And again, I go back to that time that I served in the United States military from 03 to 07. We made a lot of mistakes back then. But today, as I
Okay, so what do you think? He's basically, this to me shows that there's a lot of criticism in the United States against President Trump, that the negotiations show that that he's been weak, that he wanted to do something and he failed. And JD Vance is suggesting that negotiations is a demonstration of strength, not weakness. But whether he's right or wrong, it does show that he's responding to like a widespread attack right now. The perspective of many people, both in the United States and globally, based on what I've seen at least so far, is that the negotiations with the Islamic Republic is as a result of United States realizing that what they wanted to do is not what they could do, and that's why they're now negotiating. What is your perspective on this?
Well, that was the Bush era. Um, I can't. I'm okay. If we're talking about the pressure, yes, I'm sure the pressure is there. I don't know how much of it is real. I'm sure some of it is real. It doesn't matter if it comes from misunderstanding of what we're doing or not. But I think because I believe that there are larger moves being made. He's just telling the troops, look, it's not that we're afraid to use you, it's that we don't need to use you right now. If this is my I'm steel manning him. All right, I don't agree with this guy lately. I used to love him. Lately he's pissing me off. But if I'm going to steel man him, I would say like he's trying to convey like, hey, we know you are a useful force, but it's not a force we want to use in the wrong way at the wrong time. So I think he's trying to convey that, and he's trying to convey that there is pressure to use them in a manner that wouldn't be the most efficient for the goals right now. That doesn't mean they won't be used in the future, but we have to understand that when he's saying this, he's talking to different audiences. So there's the audience that is the literally the troops. There's the audience that is the voters, and there is the audience that is the diplomatic mission, right? So Iran is going to watch this. If he's making any kind of diplomatic moves, he has to signal that these moves are real. So because it's like a uh, triple sandwich, a three-layered sandwich of what he's saying, you have to like take that into context when you see what he's saying. And this is me steel manning him.
Yeah. So here's the thing. What I think what most people need to understand is that United States military is the most powerful military in the world, but it's not God. Okay. Um, And because it's not God, it means that it has limitations. It's not like there's a button in Washington, D.C., where you press and then your enemies go boom. Okay. They have the greatest firepower on earth in history of human civilization, but there's limitations to it. And it's an army that needs pauses and it needs rests. It needs to restock its munitions. It needs to re-strategize. And it's crazy that so many people worldwide have just witnessed the greatest military operation in human history. I would argue that Operation Epic Fury was the greatest, the most impressive military operations in the history of civilization, that achieved the most in the shortest amount of time. And for people to look at that and we're like, oh, okay, you're weak because you're negotiating, shows how people don't have the proper framing compared to every other military operation in history, and how impressive that was in comparison.
I would have to help you out here. Armin is saying in the amount of time. So we're talking about like since February. All right. We're not talking about World War II. That took years. We're not talking about Korea. We're not talking about Vietnam. That took years, right? We're talking, if you look at the amount of things that are done in the amount of time that is being done, this is one of the largest mobilizations. And I would agree. But some people are going to
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, what about World War II? Blah blah blah." You know, they just don't calm down, chat. Calm down. If you listen closely to what he's saying, he is probably correct. Like in the amount of mobilization for the amount of time, this is a very condensed state, and it is also true that it's not just the missiles; it's the humans. These humans need rest. We care about rescuing them from the mountains of enemy territory, but we also care about them being literally fatigued, because being deployed is not, something to take lightly.
Yeah. I do think that people also have to understand that that's not something you could say, because part of your strength comes from your um soft power, the perception of strength. It's not just actual strength, it's the perception of strength. So even what I'm saying is not something that Washington DC should say, like, oh, we have to put a pause because we're running out of missile interceptors, or because we have to manage. I mean, President Trump actually did say that, but I do understand that even when you, the greatest military on earth, have to pause and recover, you can't just come and advertise the fact that you have limitations, even though your limitations is less than other armies limitations. You shouldn't just come out and say it. Okay, this is because you have to, the perception of power of United States is as important as its actual power. So this is something we say, and this is something, but it's something that you don't expect the politicians to come out and say publicly. However, President Trump does say it, to be fair. Right.
Yes, I mean they won't mention it, but they won't try to make a big deal about it. Like something, anyone that has been a soldier here, especially an American soldier, will know that a lot of soldiers can't function without coffee. This is something that's very important to them, and it's not something you're going to see in any report. It's not something you're going to see like everywhere posted. But we do need coffee. Like if I sound a little low energy right now, it's because I haven't had my coffee. I woke up a
Go
little
make
late, but
coffee.
I'm here for you. You think what?
Okay, go make some coffee and come back. But just before
Oh my
that,
God. You,
can
you don't
you?
think it'll take too long? I could try to be very quick about this.
Yes. How long would it make you to? Yeah, go make coffee. I got you. Okay, I'll cover you. I'll cover you until. Make
Okay,
sure
look,
that you have
as a
coffee.
war fighter, I need a little
Yes.
coffee. I'll be back in
Yes.
one or two, maybe
No,
3 minutes.
before you go, can you respond to this? Because Firejack is saying untrue. What we're saying is untrue. President Bush beat the Iraq military in 26 days, has started new government and new army in the time Trump has negotiated. So I think that's a false comparison, because the strength of Saddam's military is much less than the Islamic Republic, especially given how degraded and weakened the Iraqi government had been, with extremely harsher sanctions on Saddam that we had seen on, the Islamic Republic. They have the economy that Saddam has access to, and the military that Saddam had access to was very, very insignificant compared to what the Islamic Republic had at the beginning of Operation Epic Fury. Instead of, like, what you need to compare is the level of destruction that was caused in Operation Epic Fury with the amount of military that was used. Like, you are, like, what you're pointing at is like a ground invasion of hundreds of thousands of American troops entering Iraq. So Iraq was weaker, and United States used the ground, like put troops on the ground and invaded Iraq. Like those with the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic is much stronger than Iraq's army was then. And also, United States was not doing a ground invasion of Iran. So the amount of achievement and the amount of destruction of Operation Epic Fury is based on what the United States has been using. With that in mind, is so much more significant, I think, than what happened in the invasion of Iraq, given what the United States is using and what the Islamic Republic had access to. Would you agree with that, Monkey?
I think some people are rightly upset that it is forgotten how successful the military campaign was. He is talking about when we deployed around 150,000 ground plus whatever is in the air and sea makes it, like you said, hundreds of thousands of our troops. So I understand and I feel this person's need to validate, because it was valid, the effort and the speed with which these warfighters broke into the scene and did what needed to be done. I'm sorry, but we're talking about '03 to '07, right? So if we're talking '03 to '07, we're talking about the long term problems that we had, and some of it came with how we treated the remnants, right? What was left behind. So there's two. When you look at the Iraq War, you have to look at two things: the military, the military disarmament of what was the military then, and the insurgency. These are two different. It's the what's left of the Baath Party, but the way it was handled is something that, politically and militarily, has become a lesson that has given basically operational PTSD, right? Because we're afraid to do something in which we get caught in a something that goes longer than we want to and kills more. But you got to understand that a lot of the problems that we had there was because of the IRGC, was because they were supporting these insurgencies. So in a way, this is just an extension of a war declared on us 47 years ago. And I don't want to berate this person. I'm sure this person is just very rightly proud of what we did in those 26 days. And you know what? I commend those efforts. I do.
Yeah.
But we're talking about different things. I think that's where the disconnect is.
All right, I think we got the picture. You go get your coffee and then be right back. I'll go to
Oh, you
this.
must sound so low energy. I'll go do that. Thank you.
Yeah, go get your coffee. You sound like you're dying. Yeah. Let me see. All right, let me see. Tom give us a super chat. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much for the support. And then Fleshy, thank you so much, Fleshy. Durud and Shalom. Durud and Shalom to you as well. Uh, Hello, Durud and Shalom. And then we got a boogeyman with a super chat saying, "Seems like the Middle East went totally unstable after the U.S. took out Saddam. Am I wrong, Armin?" Well, I don't know when was the Middle East stable. The Middle East was not stable before the fall of Saddam. Like before the fall of Saddam like killed um, thousands and thousands of people. Like, do you remember the massacre of Kurdish Iraqis by Saddam? Do you remember like all the wars with Israel? Do you remember, I don't know, the 6 Day War, the Yom Kippur War? Do you remember like, uh, you know, Hamas, the creation of Hamas in Gaza. Do you remember the 1979 Islamic Revolution? Do you remember, I mean, the Saudis? Do you remember 9/11 coming from Afghanistan? Do you remember the takeover of Taliban? Do you remember, the war between all the war between Pakistan and different groups, different terrorist groups within Pakistan? What else is there? There's so much. Yeah, they're like all the separatist groups, Sadat being assassinated, the Muslim Brotherhood, Jamal Abdel Nasser being defeated by Israel. Like it keeps going. I think like a lot of the chaos in the Middle East came before the fall of Saddam. So I don't know, like, I mean, these are just there's I could probably, if you give me some time, I could give you a list of 200 massive chaotic incidents. Yeah, the Lebanese 15 years of Lebanese civil war. Yeah, the bombing of the Marine barracks by USS. Yeah, the hostage takeover of the Americans. The Houthis. I mean, the Yemen. The war in Yemen. I mean, that's after the Iran. Okay, yeah, the Iran-Iraq war. How could I forget that? 8 years of Iran-Iraq war before the fall of Saddam. That was not chaotic. Oh my God, you're right. That was the biggest. That's the biggest one. How could I forget the biggest one? Yeah, the greatest mass executions of the 1980s in Iran by the Islamic Republic. We had 8 years, like we had 15 years of Lebanon civil war and 8 years of Iran-Iraq war, all before Saddam. So I wouldn't say that. Yeah. But thank you for the question and the support. And then we got another super chat here saying by Roman Viking saying, which properties does a security which is used as a currency have to fulfill? Which are your favorite currency securities of history? Which properties does a security which is used as a currency have to fulfill? Which are your favorite currency securities of history? So are you saying like what needs to back a currency to secure it? I think military power. I think so if I understand your question, my favorite currency is the USD. Am I understanding this right? Which properties does a security which is used as a currency? Is the security used as a currency, or is a current? Are you saying what needs to back a currency? If you're saying what needs to back a currency is the volume of trade, and what backs the volume of trade is security that the trade is going to be happening, and what backs the security that the trade is happening is military power. So a lot of people talk about petrodollar, and now we're talking about AI dollar, and we're talking about stable currency dollar. So for example, a lot of people used to say that the US dollar is backed by the fact that it's traded in that petrochemicals, that oil and gas is traded in USD. Okay, but that's half the picture. Why was gas and oil traded in USD? Because the United States had the military power to provide security for oil and gas to be traded in USD. Today, there's so much other trade other than oil and gas that is happening in USD. Why is it all happening in USD? Right? Because it's the United States military that provides the security for all of this trade to happen. So it gets to enforce a framework where global trade is happening in USD. It's the trade that is happening in USD, and also it's basically circular, right? Because also then people want to put that all of that USD somewhere, and they will put it, they will lend that money to the government that is more stable, the most stable. So they will lend it to the US government, and the US government will only accept money in USD. So you trade in USD and you profit in USD, and then your USD profit needs to be lended out to the most stable entity. The most stable entity is the entity that has so much military power that could actually stabilize its economy, and that ends up being the US government as well. So the United States uses its military to facilitate trade. So you trade in its currency, and then the profit from that currency is then lended out to the US government that only accepts the money in USD. So it all comes from military power. Your currency shouldn't be backed up by gold or petroleum. It needs to be backed up by it needs to be backed up by military. And you're saying liquidity is important? Yes, but what guarantees the liquidity? The stability that comes from the military power. So people are saying like gold backed dollar, petroleum backed dollar, AI trade backed dollar, USDT stable coin backed dollar, other trades backed dollar. Well, all of this, the liquidity that comes from it, the guarantee, the stability, and the liquidity that comes from it, all comes from the stability from the military power that you have. So to me, the main backer of your currency needs to be guns. That's what I
Yes.
think. Yeah.
Guns and coffee. It seems that during Operation Epic Fury, U.S. troops downed a 950,000 gallons of coffee.
And what happened with the
7.6
coffee?
million cups. Operation Epic
Okay.
Coffee, indeed.
Oh my God. Okay, let's move on from coffee. Let's go to the next super chat. We had Rafi saying, I strongly believe that when Iran will be liberated, that will tilt the world harmony towards positive vibes. Yes, just like the Islamic Republic was a source of Islamic Durka jihadi mindset around the entire region and now in Europe and North America, I think a secular, liberated Iran will be a major source for the exact opposite. And I think a lot of people are underestimating how significant of a change that would be to world history, not just the Middle East history, but global history. Like a lot of people think that the stuff in the Middle East stays in the Middle East. The reason why you're seeing all of this Shia processions and the Islamic takeover of Europe and North America, a lot of it comes from the 1979 Islamic Revolution. There's a lot of delayed consequences of the 1979 Islamic Revolution, so people don't connect it to. But I could show you everything that is happening in Europe that is destroying Europe, and everything that is happening in Canada that is destroying Canada. It all comes from the 1979 Islamic Revolution. So it's really important to reverse that. And I think the positive consequences of that is not understood by most people. So that, Rafi, I completely agree with you on that.
I would also add that there is like an axis of evil, like a triple trinity, and it's the China, Russia, and Iran backing each other up with supply. Like we know, Iran. I mean, Iran had to get hit because they were supplying Russia with some of the drones that they were using in Ukraine. So these people help each other out. We know that the defenses in Iran came from China. So you can't look at this just for one area that we are isolated from, because this is not something that you can isolate from. We have global commerce. We can't get away from these people. You can't just see it as like, oh, it's over there, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. It affects you directly.
Okay, let me go to Marandi. You know this guy, right? Mohammed Marandi. He is really pissed about what's happening in Lebanon. Is this English?
Well, first of all, Dr.
Yeah. So guys, look at how upset people are. The Islamic. This is a this person is a propagandist for the Islamic Republic, right? And they are not at all happy regarding what's happening in Lebanon. So let's listen to him.
Well, first of all, Dr. Qalibaf's interview is going on, continuing as we speak, and he's just a few moments ago said that we are prepared to go back to war. It's not as if we are bound to this path of negotiations and this is the only way forward. Things all depend on the United States. So the Iranians have the ability to go back to war. They have the ability to shut the Strait of Hormuz to those countries that participated in the war against Iran. And they have the military capability to make sure that the United States fails on the battlefield, as we've already seen during the 39 days of battle. So I think that's an important point. With regards to Lebanon, I think it's clear as day that the Lebanese government has been behaving as a proxy of the United States, and it has betrayed the country and effectively given the Israeli regime sovereignty over parts of Lebanon. And the Israelis have the Israeli regime has no intention of leaving. We know of the greater Israeli project. People have been talking about it for decades. In the past, the West liked to pretend that this didn't exist and that this was a conspiracy theory, but now it's out in the open. Now everyone knows that the objective of the Israeli regime is not just southern Lebanon, it's the whole of Lebanon and Syria and parts of Iraq and even bits and pieces of Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Egypt. It's clear. So the intention is not to leave. And ultimately, at some point, the Israeli regime will move further and further north if they ever have the capability. Remember, they've already been to Beirut once. And those people who are on the Saudi payroll or on the payroll of Western NGOs or are supported by Western embassies or countries in the Persian Gulf or Turkey support them and they fail to support the sovereignty of Lebanon, they too ultimately will be expelled from their homes. The whole of Lebanon will, if the Israeli regime gets their way, will be turned into another West Bank. So the Iranians know that this MoU was basically to prevent the MoU between Iran and the United States from being implemented. The MoU between Iran and the United States, it's supported by Iran's missiles. Iran's missiles and Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz are the force behind the Iranian side of the deal. And what the Lebanese government did was try to undermine.
What do you think about what he said?
I think I don't know, Qalibaf is a doctor now? I didn't know that. Another thing that I find odd is that everything he's saying is the opposite. Like he's projecting everything about Hezbollah. Hezbollah is the one that doesn't want to leave. Hezbollah is the one that want to expand. Iran is the one that wants to expand. If you take everything he said and you just flip it upside down, it's all true, but it's what they want to do. Like it's like I'm accusing you of everything I want to do.
It's also interesting that just like what they do with Iran, they do with Lebanon also, they completely deny the agency of the Lebanese people, right? So it says the Lebanese government is betraying Lebanon because the only people that they consider people are Hezbollah people. The rest of Lebanon who's anti-Hezbollah, they don't consider them at all to even be people. So how could the Lebanese government be betraying Lebanon if they're doing exactly what the Lebanese people want? So they only, like in Iran, all of Iran is not considered people except the people who support the Islamic Republic. It's the same thing with Lebanon. Lebanon, all of Lebanon are not people except the people who support Hezbollah. So when they say like the Lebanese government is betraying Lebanon and selling out to the Israelis, what they're saying is that they're betraying Hezbollah, not Lebanon. The Lebanese people want this. The Lebanese people want peace with Israel.
And we went over the numbers. We saw the polls. We saw what the people think. Like there is an overwhelming majority of people in Lebanon that are against Hezbollah. Like this isn't like some kind of like we are imagining or wishing this into existence. This has statistical data that backs it up. Like they're not counting the majority of Lebanon when they say what the Lebanese want. Like you're absolutely right in this.
Hmm. Let me go to this next person. I don't know what he's about to say. Let me see. This must be interesting. Okay, let me see if you agree with this, because this guy gets a lot of attention. I have no idea if he's gonna. Let me see. Do I follow him? Yeah, I do follow him. Let me see if his analysis is correct in this, because this guy gets a lot of attention.
Why do we keep fooling ourselves into believing that the regime in Iran will one day behave like a normal state? Let's look at the facts. Iran has reportedly made clear that it has no meeting plan with Rafael Grossi, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and no intention of allowing inspectors into its damaged nuclear facilities. So the $1 million question is, if Iran, or the Islamic regime of Iran's intentions were peaceful, why hide the debris? Why refuse inspections? Why insist on enriching uranium far beyond civilian limits? A country pursuing peaceful nuclear energy does not behave like this. And I absolutely don't believe that Iran seeks nuclear energy in its civil limit. A country with nothing to hide does not slam the door in the face of inspectors. The whole world must understand something very dangerous about this regime. The regime in Iran does not want nuclear capability for peace. It wants nuclear capacity or capability in service of an apocalyptic apocalypse, a worldview in which millions die on both sides. A disappeared imam would reappear to lead a religious battle. But people cannot really think that way. People cannot re-engage in religious wars that disappeared 300 years ago from mankind, or did it? This is a regime that murders its own people, funds terror across the Middle East, lies to the international community, and still expects the world to trust its nuclear intentions. Enough. If Iran wanted peace, it would open every site, every facility, every gram of enriched uranium to international inspection. But it won't. And that is exactly why nobody should trust the Islamic regime of Iran.
Yeah, send this to JD Vance. I agree with him. The only thing that I wish he gets better is, like, instead of, don't refer to the regime as Iran. The name of Iran is sacred. Do not, they're not Iran. They're anti-Iranian. The regime is not Iran. But other than that, pretty cool. Please, somebody tell JD Vance that, show them this video. They're not going to change their nature, and you shouldn't be trusting anything that they say. These are facts. That's pretty good. Yeah.
I think an important part of this is he's speaking as someone from the region, and this is good to show to Americans because he's from the region. Like if you try to argue him, he'll probably easily beat you down. Some blue-haired land whale will say, "Oh, but Hamas is being whatever." Because the Americans have a certain sensitivity that a lot of people in the world don't have about being called racist. Hearing these views from people in the region is, I think, important. So a person like that appears to be from the region, a speaker of the language, I think it's important. And I think that when the map was there, he said he clarified the regime, but I understand that Iranians are repulsed by the idea that the regime represents Iranians.
Yeah. Yeah, I know sometimes there be guys, I know, like, non-Iranians get annoyed that we are sometimes picky with the language. Like, don't call the regime Iran, don't call the Persian Gulf just the Gulf. But we have good reasons for why we're picky about these things, okay? So sorry for being annoying sometimes, but it is what it is.
It's like for us, imagining Biden represents everybody here. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. We're not the Bidenites. This is not the same.
No, yeah. Well, actually, let me say this. It's like, imagine if you're American and you hate Obama, and then somebody says, instead of saying Obama funded the Islamic Republic and released a lot of money to them to fund terrorism, imagine if somebody said it was America did that. So as an American who's against Obama, that you were like, No, it wasn't. It wasn't all of America. It was just Obama, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
That makes perfect
But
sense, and that's the better analogy than the one I made.
right, but imagine that, but times a million, okay? Because I know you have your like, you know, I'm against Obama as the rest of you, I think, but he didn't massacre 40,000 people, right, of Americans, and he didn't execute hundreds of thousands of Iranians over the past 47 years, right? So I imagine you getting annoyed for people thinking making Obama representing America, but way more evil, you know. So
I can't put a little
because
bit of that blood on his hands, but not all of it.
yeah, I mean, I know, but like, I think the gap between us Iranians and the regime is wider between, I don't know, like, you know, conservatives and Obama. There's a big gap, but our gap is bigger. Like, we are like on different planets.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Yeah. No. So yeah, nobody should call. Yeah. So Texas is saying, I understand. It's just Iranians keep calling Americans stupid for referring to Iran as Iran when it's been a custom for 100 years. So nobody should do that. I understand. That's why I'm saying sorry for being annoying. Like, I know we're picky about that, and I don't expect everybody to follow the standard. So every time I correct people, I don't expect people to follow the standard. And I say, like, I know we're being too picky about it, right? And also, Texas, it's not Iranians, it's some Iranians. I'm not being annoying. I'm not demanding that. So not all Iranians are like that, right? So most Iranians understand that this is just, standard practice.
This is
Oh, we
also
also
tactical because we want everyone that hears us, right? This is a tactical move. We want everyone
right.
that hears us to understand that these two things are very, very much, very, very different things. And for
Yes.
people that have had that custom, the way that we can help make that distinction is by literally making the distinction every chance we get. So, we're not trying to be picky about like other people. It's more like a suggestion. It's more like a, hey, you know what, a constructive criticism, like, hey, help
Right.
us by making that distinction.
Yes, yes. And again, Iranians watching, this needs to be an encouragement rather than a demand. Don't, if you're Iranian and you're watching this show, if you're telling Americans or other people to please don't refer to the regime as Iran, don't demand it, and don't attack anybody who doesn't do it. This needs to be a request and a suggestion. Okay? Anyways, let me go to this next video. What is this? This guy, okay, this is the state TV within the Islamic Republic. So it says Iran is ready for more war. Again, I'm reading it as it is, right? Iran army spokesperson General Mohammad Akraminia. I think I need to see the Persian version of this to be able to read this. We did not lose a single moment for upgrading and strengthening our defense. We are also taking advantage of the ceasefire opportunity to strengthen ourselves. So this is the regime saying that we're using the ceasefire to strengthen ourselves. But before I do that, let me actually read the super chat. Thank you so much, Casey, for the super chat saying, I'm sad today. I heard Tal's grandmother passed. Yes, I heard that as well a few days ago. I sent him a message. Yeah, that is very sad. Yeah, Tal's grandmother was an Iraqi Jew that went to Iran during Shah's time, right? Am I getting this right, guys? Right? Let me know in the chat. And she was so wonderful, and Tal talked about her often. So I'm upset. Yeah, that is very sad. I did send him a message. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say in times like this. Like when I sent him a message, I looked at the message for like, I think at least 10 minutes before I sent it, because I don't know what to say in moments like this. And thank you, Casey, for letting other people know. Go on, Monkey.
Just being there, just being supportive helps a lot. You don't have to have the perfect words. You have just being there does, is the presence itself matters, that you know matters. So just make sure they know that you're there. Like words, you won't never find, we never have the perfect words. Just give the best of what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are being so nice in the chat, and thank you for reminding everybody else. So guys, go show show your respects and share your thoughts, and if you're believing your prayers or anything that you believe in on Tal's channel, go show him a lot of love. I'm sure he appreciates that. All right, so yeah, so this is what we atheists like to say when at moments like this. Say you guys sometimes say bless her soul, or may she live in peace, but we usually say may her memory be a blessing. I like that. May her memory be a blessing. Whatever you could say that shows that you're thinking about somebody and you care for them is good. Okay, let's watch this video. So read the subtitles.
اول در واقع آتش بس و بعد هم که مذاکرات سیاسی شروع شد اعلام کردیم که ما به هیچ وجه به دشمن اعتماد نداریم. ما در ارتش جمهوری اسلامی ایران خودمون رو همچنان در حالت جنگ می‌دانیم.
یعنی حتی آمادگی داریم که جنگ از در زودترین فرصت ممکن آغاز بشه.
So I'll give you the gist of it for people who are not looking at their screen. He's saying like during the ceasefire we're still ready for war, and the person saying like okay, so even during the ceasefire you're preparing yourself for war, and he says yes.
بله، ما یک لحظه رو برای ارتقاء توان دفاعی خودمون از دست ندادیم، چه در بعد تامین تجهیزات، چه در بعد آموزش هامون بازآموزی صورت گرفته.
So they're recovering, they're supplying their munitions and their weapons, and they're also working on they're using the ceasefire to train up.
و به طور کلی ارتقاء توان رزم ارتش جمهوری اسلامی ایران هر لحظه مورد توجه بوده و در طول این مدتی که در واقع آتش بس حاکم بوده ما لحظه‌ای غفلت نکردیم. برای اینکه به دشمن اعتماد نداریم، به دشمن اعتماد نداشتیم هیچ وقت.
So we didn't lose a single second, a moment to keep preparing for the next war that is coming, basically. So their expectation is that the third war is going to happen. So we had the 12-day war in June last year. We had the 40-day war started in February, and now that's the second war. Now we're waiting for the third war. So the Islamic Republic very much expects that we're going to have a third war, and they're saying that they're using every moment to prepare for it.
الانم به همین شکله و وظایف و مأموریت‌های خودمون رو داریم انجام میدیم و گوش به فرمان هستیم. ما دستمون بر ماشه، چشممون بر دشمن و گوشمون به فرمانده معظم کل قواست که هر لحظه اراده بفرمایند ما وارد جنگ با دشمنان خواهیم شد. این آمادگی وجود داره. از فرصت آتش بس هم برای تقویت خودمون و ارتقا و تقویت وضعیت توان رزممون استفاده کرد.
Okay, so he's just basically saying the same things again.
Yeah, he's repeating himself.
Yeah, but that's true. I mean, we didn't expect anything less from them. Obviously, you're doing that. But I think the United States has managed to take advantage of the ceasefire better than the Islamic Republic, wouldn't you say?
Yes, because he says, oh, we have our fingers on the trigger. First of all, you shouldn't have your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. And second of all, this is just gun safety. Everybody knows this. Second of all, we have had successful operations in accordance jointly with the Iraqi government to get rid of the IRGC corruption, and they have been able to recover a lot of the funds that the Iraqi government was siphoning from the Iraqi people towards the IRGC. I'm sure some of those funds are also Iranian funds that were being siphoned from the Iranian people to the IRGC. There's also operations ongoing in Lebanon, and the joint operations between Israel, U.S., and military operations, joint between the Lebanese army, the U.S. army, and the Israeli army. So this is the ceasefire war. Where with this, they have to wait, right? But as they wait, their proxies are getting spanked.
Yeah. So let's look at the list of what the Islamic Republic is doing in the ceasefire to get ready for the third war, and what is the United States doing. Okay. So for the Islamic Republic, let's see if we could figure out everything they're doing. One, they're rebuilding missiles, right? Two, they're rebuilding drones. So they're getting basically missile, what is it called? Counterparts? Yes, from China. Is that what it's called? And they're getting drones, the stuff that you need to build drones from Russia, right? The drone stuff is coming through the Caspian Sea from Russia. The missile stuff used to come at lower volume through land routes from China to the Islamic Republic before the blockade. And now that the blockade is lifted, is coming through the, again, same as usual, through the Strait of Hormuz. Is that your understanding?
We would add to that the man pads. The man pads make it very difficult even for stealth aircraft to operate at a low altitude because they're going off heat. And even though a stealth vehicle would have a much lower heat signature than your average fighter, it is still a large heat signature, which is why it forces us to fly higher.
Yes, and then we're also, on top of that, they're spending some time to recover their missile cities. They're underground missile towns that are under like layers of granite. I think they had 33. 3 of them were destroyed. 30 of them are still there. The issue with the rest was that their entrances were blocked. I think they have managed to reopen the entrances to all of them. I also think that they are spending time strategizing how to get their launchers out, given how easy it is for the Americans and Israelis to just bomb their entrances and just lock in their launchers inside the mountain, and not able to use them. So they need to figure out a better way to get the launchers out and back inside during the next operation. So I don't know if there is a way to fix that, but do you think like that's probably something that they're really aggressively trying to solve right now, right?
Well, for me, the worry is not every facility. It's the one that has those. I think it was 440 pounds of irradiated material of uranium, basically 60%
So that's a
uranium.
different thing. So the missile towns are one thing. The uranium is something else. Those are we have 30 remaining missile towns out of the 33. The uranium is something completely different. Those are the 4 sites, especially in Natanz, Fordo, Isfahan, and Kuhkolang, something name like that. But I'll look up the 4 places.
So they don't have other military equipment that they're trying to get to in there.
So the areas where they did enrich uranium, they are so much buried under rubble after Operation Midnight Hammer in June last year, that they don't have the ability to get to that. Okay, so that is not a military facility, that is a uranium enrichment facility.
I think it's important to tell this to the Americans because might not because the names and which facility does what. When Americans hear that they're opening up some of these sites, we might think, hey, this might be one of those sites. So your clarification in this is greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so there's let me do so. The missile towns are basically these areas that the Islamic Republic has, these basically cities that the Islamic Republic has under the mountain, there's under millions of years of layers of granite that form over millions of years, and that's basically the Islamic Republic is using nature to protect them, and you can't get to that even with you can't get to those things. Oh, let me bring my key back. You can't Yeah, there we go. You can't get to those things even with bunker busters, because it's so those ones are hard to destroy. It's easy to close them because you could bomb their entrances and you close them so that you can't get the rocket launchers out, but it's really hard to destroy them, right? You have the rocket launchers in there and the missiles in there, and when you are like trying to, I don't know, bomb Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, what you do is the rocket launcher comes out. They have multiple different entrances. The rocket launcher comes out, launches the rocket, and then goes back in, right? So if you close the entrances, then they can't come out, right? So that's the issue that you need to solve. So that is the missile towns. Then we have this completely separate thing, which is the enrichment uranium facilities. That's where you take the normal uranium that you mine, you take them to the enrichment uranium facilities. These are also deep under the ground, so that you cannot, so that you could bomb them only with like really powerful bunker busters. And these are four different sites. The three famous ones are Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. There's this other new site that they have, I think Kolankola, some has a name like that, and I'm not sure the exact name. I'll find it later, but that one is new. So these are the three that were bombed already in Operation Midnight Hammer last June last year. But then there's also these areas where you could turn enriched uranium into electricity. Those are mostly in Bushehr and Tehran, and they're not important, okay, because they're not for. That's basically the Islamic Republic's way of pretending that enrichment of uranium is for creating electricity, but those facilities are not important militarily. Does that make it clear, everything I just said?
I think it's an important clarification because to a U.S. audience, the second you say we're opening up the underground missile sites, they're going to automatically think uranium. That's going to be the first thing that pops in their head. Just telling you as an American, that's going to be in our head. So you making this distinction, I think, is a very important clarification for the audience.
Yeah, they're completely separate. Okay, the missile cities. One day they will not be. Okay, right now the enriched uranium facilities is nothing to do with the missile towns, but the eventual goal is to get the enriched uranium and build nuclear warheads with them, and then bring them into basically put them at the top of inside the missiles, the ballistic missiles in the missile cities under the mountain. That is the eventual goal. Right now they're separate.
They want vertical integration of all parts of this system underground in one facility to protect. Yes.
Yeah. That is what the nuclear scientist Fakhrizadeh was about to accomplish until Israel killed him. Thank you, Israel. Thank you for saving the world. Thank you, Israel, for saving the world again, right?
I think many nations, especially Israel, but many nations have stopped their nuclear program. People say, oh, they've had a nuclear program for so many years and they haven't done anything because we keep stopping them. The whole world, I mean, people like even France and UK has arrested some of these people, has stopped some of their stealing of nuclear secrets and going. There has been so many operations against the IRGC's nuclear aspirations that it's a very long list. I have it somewhere around here. Maybe I'll bring it someday. But this lunacy that, oh my God, it's just Bibi lying. He's always lying. No. There are many operations that prove that many nations, especially Israel and US, Stuxnet, the whole Stuxnet thing was about stopping the IRGC's nuclear aspirations. So, it's very important to point that out and thank Israel for their cooperation with us in this matter.
Yeah, and now those are the ways Islamic Republic is preparing. The ways that United States is preparing is that they basically have made Qalibaf their own bitch, internally fighting against the rest of the Islamic Republic in Iran, weakening the rest of the Islamic Republic. That is what the United States has very effectively done with the negotiations, with the MoU, basically destroying the Islamic Republic, standing its soft power, its unity, and many of its very long-lasting political institutions and military power from the inside. So basically infiltrating the regime from the inside with their own inside man now. So that's what then they are also in Lebanon and in Iraq and in Yemen. The United States has done a lot to make it weaken the Islamic Republic's proxies, the Houthis, the Ansarullah or Houthis in Yemen, Kataib Hezbollah or Haish Shabi and other proxies of the Islamic Republic in Iraq. They have been very effective, United States, in weakening them, also taking out all the politicians that are funding these proxy groups. In Hezbollah, they have made a lot of progress with the integrating the Lebanese government and its military against Hezbollah. And even if that doesn't work out, we have established the legal framework for Israel's permission to at least get the Lebanese blessing for the IDF to remain in southern Lebanon, which is really great. So we made all of this progress, and then on top of that, the United States is using the ceasefire to basically feed the whole world with oil. Everybody opening the Strait of Hormuz, bringing oil prices down, getting all countries to fill their oil reserves to get prepared for the third war. So this is, I think, and also on top of that, the United States is trying to make sure that it does everything it can so that the midterms oil prices are not that high for it to cause a lot of damage, for them to be able to continue war number 3 after the midterms maybe are over. Maybe that's their plan. And another thing that they're doing is that they're obviously spending a lot of time trying to restock their munitions. I know what they have used already will take years to rebuild, but there are other ways to repurpose some of their other missiles that they have in other places, like in Europe or other places, to bring back to restock and get ready for their third war. Would you say that last part is correct?
Yes, we're also changing to a wartime economy that increases our production, lowers our production time, increases our production output by a lot. Like it's a multiplier.
We got a super chat by this account saying IDF kills children, saying, "In the glorious heart of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Islam shines as the eternal soul and guiding light to our proud nation. Islam's reign supreme. You sold the blood of your supreme leader for corn and hay. You your glorious Islamic values were sold for American corn and hay. Are you kidding me?" Okay, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed? All of this talk regarding Islamic values. How much was the blood of your supreme leader worth? Didn't you sell it a bit too cheaply? Maybe not, actually. I don't know.
I think. Do you expect that they are gonna take the supreme leader's body and throw it on the ground and rip the shrouds to shred to get a little piece of it, like they did with the first one? I mean, it's a Tupperware jar. Are they gonna take little pieces of cutlet home and idolatize it as these idolaters do with their ayatollahs?
I don't know. Given it seems like they care more about popcorn than the supreme leader. Like, I think the position of the supreme leader has been very diminished. Yeah, let's do a test. Let's have a popcorn stand like on Ali Khamenei's funeral. Given that the regime itself is selling his blood for some popcorn, let's try with the people as well. We should have a popcorn stand on one side of the funeral, and free popcorn on one side, and then Ali Khamenei's body dangling, by a crane from the other. Let's see what percentage will go to touch his body and what percentage will go for the free popcorn. That could be an experiment. We could run an experiment.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. All right. Wait. Yes, not popcorn. Elephant farts for the funeral. Exactly. Chesterfield. Elephant farts. If you know, you know. Okay. All right.
There's a cigarette
That's
called
good.
Chesterfields. I think that had something to do with the naming.
No, yeah, no. If you know, you know. We don't want to go through the explanation, but
Okay.
thank you, Playsheet. Yeah, because it will take us off track. Ali Homini, is that how you say it? Yeah. This is corn, right? Homini is a type of corn. Yeah, free popcorn will probably win. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe free popcorn depends on the topping. We have to see what the topic is. But anyways,
Caramel?
let's go to this. Yeah, caramel probably that will. Yeah, maybe they will choose the supreme leader if it has nothing on. It's just popcorn with nothing on top. But if you add some, I don't know, maybe some cheese, then definitely the popcorn. Homini. Okay. All right, let's look at this. This is actually pretty interesting. So look at this. In a crucial declaration following their humiliating defeat, the so-called new regime in Iran announced that talks with the United States are conditional upon the conquest of New York and Washington, the capture of the American president, and his delivery in chains to face prosecution by Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei. So let's look at this. This is pretty cool. Oh, it has English subtitles. Let me read that.
شما تبدیل بکن جریان رو به صلح حدیبیه هیچ اشکال نداره. تو قلب نیویورک.
So he's saying, like, guys, if you want to do an MoU and negotiation, it's fine. Like, as long as we go to the heart of New York.
بعد از اینکه شما زده بودید طرف خارش کرده بودید. خب شما تبدیلش کنید به همچین حالتی. بله اونجا مذاکره اشکال نداره. شما
like after you completely destroy and humiliate your enemy, then you could negotiate. Like
برید واشنگتن رو اشغال بکنید.
Go occupy Washington D.C. So he's criticizing the Islamic Republic, right? He's saying the Islamic Republic is acting very weakly. You shouldn't just negotiate beforehand. These are the conditions you should achieve these and then negotiate with them. You need to go occupy Washington D.C.
به اینا بگید انتم طلقا به فرزندانشان بگید یبن.
Tell them wait, what? This is Arabic. Tell them you once had them. Okay, tell them that you once had these people as slaves.
بگید انتم طلقا به فرزندانشان.
And tell their children they are the children of freed slaves.
بگید یبن طلقا این سگ زرد و کتب.
Bring this yellow dog tied up to our supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei.
پس بیاریم پیش حضرت آیت الله آقا مجتبی خامنه ای. ایشون خواستن میبخشن خواستن نمیبخشن.
And if our supreme leader wants to forgive Trump, he could forgive him. If he doesn't want to forgive him, he won't forgive him.
یه هر کاری خواستن میکنن.
Mojtaba Khamenei can then do whatever he wants to Trump.
با اینا اون دیگه به عهده مقام ولایت.
That would be his decision.
که چه اتفاقی رو رقم میزنن. هر موقع رفتیم نیویورک رو گرفتیم واشنگتن رو گرفتیم.
Only after we go and occupy Washington D.C. and New York.
این سگ زرد و کتبسته تحویل.
And only after we tie up this yellow dog, meaning Trump, and bring it to our supreme leader.
مقام ولایت دادیم ایشون هر تصمیمی گرفتن همین.
And then after that, whatever decision the Mojtaba makes, we'll go with that. If you want to negotiate after that, do whatever. But only after we achieve these things. What do you think, Monkey?
I don't understand. It's being sarcastic. Like, oh, you won? Okay, so you won. Now that you won, go to New York, go to Washington, and do these things because you won, right?
No. He's saying that he's criticizing. So this is a pro-Mojtaba Khamenei mullah, anti-negotiations, anti-deal, anti-MoU. He's saying if the Islamic Republic shouldn't be going and negotiating with the Americans now, you should first destroy, win and humiliate them, and only like for example, the conditions that has to be met for us to negotiate with the Americans is to occupy Washington D.C., occupy New York, get President Trump, tying him up, bring him to Mujtaba Khamenei. That is only then we could then start negotiating with the Americans. Not now. We need to have first do that.
So he's laying out impossible conditions. So in a way, say don't negotiate.
No. He thinks this is absolutely possible. He's not being sarcastic. This is
So he's just stupid.
He thinks given yeah. He's not being this guy is not being sarcastic at all. He has these expectations.
Oh, he thinks that they can do this. He has this.
Yes.
He's like, oh, we got Mandami, we got this. Does he think what is? I mean, this lunacy. But I don't know if you were this. If you were on this much copium, you may think, oh, we already have sections of the U.S., so we could just declare our entry over there and just finish taking over the government or something. I don't know if that's what he's trying to say here, or he's just incredibly stupid or just unrealistic. Like he's so deluded. I think that's the word, deluded.
Yes,
delusional.
He thinks he thinks, yeah, exactly. Shannon is saying he thinks Iran is going to Maduro Trump. Yeah, he thinks that they have these abilities.
That's crazy.
Yes, and this is a guy with a big following among pro-regime people. He's basically telling you the fantasies of some pro-regime people in Iran. These are their fantasies. That they could
this is what they dream is happening when they close their eyes and smack their chest at their Haydar hoedowns.
Exactly. Oh, we got a super chat saying Allah equals Satan and Ayatollah equals demon. I think that is an insult on Satan and demons. I don't know. I think that is unfair.
Ba'Allah is, the God of the Quran. All right. So, I mean, he is the God of the Kaaba. I mean, if you know, right? Hubal, like Huba'Allah, right? Hubal Allah is the God of the Kaaba. So this is what these people worship before, right? They do like sacrifice. So, I wouldn't put it beyond them. I mean, if you look at it, Islam is kind of like the temple, the to Hubal. It's like the synagogue of Hubal. So I get it. Like if you go to the ancient times when religions were getting mixed, I think that's where the people of the Kaaba come from.
I mean, the origins. I mean, I know some of the origins of of different characters in Abrahamic religions, and it doesn't work like that. But it's fun to guess.
Only from the Kaaba side. If you look at the origins of the gods of the Kaaba, and they still worship and go around the Kaaba.
Let's leave that to historical analysis of the ideas of Abrahamic religions, because we're gonna get off topic, right? But anyways, let me see. By the way, a lot of ideas in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam originates from Zoroastrianism. If you guys didn't know, just something to look into. Asaya, thank you so much for the super chat. Amy with a super chat saying, can't it be considered part of Abrahamic faith to worship prophets above God? Idolatry? Can it be considered part of Abrahamic faith to worship prophets above God? Idolatry. So as long as your idea is tied to Abrahamic religions, you're called Abrahamic, and people are very flexible with where they take that. So you could have some really crazy, wacky ideas that are like nothing like Judaism, Islam, or Christianity as is mainstream today. But as long as it originates and still believes in Abraham as the prophet, it will be. Abrahamic is like academically, Abrahamic is not supposed to be a compliment or a negative or a positive thing. It's just a matter of origins, right? Even if it goes like really different from even if it gets very different from the original religions, it still would be considered Abrahamic.
I still consider the Kaaba line to be separate. They tried to mix it but the Kaaba comes separate. That's another thing.
All right, let's not get into historical origins of religion right now. Right, but I need a because then I'm an atheist and I look at secular sources, and you're a Christian and you have like we both have our biases, and I don't want to turn this into a religious debate discussion.
No, I don't use secular.
But,
I don't use religious sources.
Okay, see, like we're already turning this into a debate. You're beginning, but let's get back to politics here, right? Okay, for us non-Americans, explain Ro Khanna to us before I play this video.
Okay, so Ro Khanna likes to virtue signal a lot about how he cares about the Epstein files, about how he cares about the poor people, but he has apparently made himself very rich while being a congressman, and has trying to defame and slander Elon Musk, and is getting sued by him. It's very it's happening. That's something that's happening right now, and we need to look into this guy's finances, because he may be as dirty as Elon Omar and a lot of these people in Minnesota and in California. I think he's from California specifically, that are using fraud to gain a lot of profit, and now his finances are under great scrutiny, because you know what, he may be one of the contenders. Like, if you have contenders to the presidency, I would put him, I would put Gavin Newsom, which is a worse candidate. Like, if I was a Democrat, this is just, I'm pretending I'm a Democrat. People are, no, don't give them advice. But they would probably have a better shot with Ro Khanna than they would with Newsom. Because Newsom, he may be like a pretty boy, but his record is so bad.
Just a short like explanation of what this guy, his views are. Like, he's a left, like a far leftist, right?
Yes. No, I think he's more moderate than the DSA, than the Democratic Socialists. That's what makes him more dangerous.
Hold on. A lot of people are misrepresenting my views in the chat. This is why I don't like to get into this topic, because I say something and people hear something that I never said. And then Fleshy, thank you so much for getting us to our goal. We got confetti. Thank you. So we got 10 out of 10 super chats today, and this is a popcorn confetti today. Yeah, wish we could actually make a custom confetti, and ours could every day could have something different. It would be a surprise. Like, one day we'll have popcorns, on July 4th we will have like American flag or whatever, and then every day we will have a new
some fireworks.
Fireworks, exactly. All right, so let's see what he says here about the Iran war and stuff like that here, what his views are, because I have no idea. I'm trying to figure this out here.
He was with Hassan Piker on the stream.
Okay, let me play this now.
Speaker Johnson and Republicans have adjourned Congress already. That means members of Congress can go on vacation or overseas trips. All of this while ordinary Americans are having higher gas prices and higher food prices for their barbecues.
Okay, this is absolute hypocrisy.
Doing our work.
Wait, hold on. Let me play the whole
thing, or are we reacting? Okay, watch the whole thing.
It's only 26 seconds. Let me just get.
Speaker Johnson and Republicans have adjourned Congress already. That means members of Congress can go on vacation or overseas trips. All of this while ordinary Americans are having higher gas prices and higher food prices for their barbecues. We need to be back in Washington doing our work. We should be ending this war in Iran. We should be working and not having more days off than ordinary Americans who have to wait till the weekend to get their holiday. Speaker Johnson and...
All right, go ahead now.
Okay, this piece of shit knows that the high gas prices in California are because of the laws they passed. They have the highest tax on gasoline. They take that tax money from the gasoline, and they just basically, I think in other places they call it petrol, and basically stuff it in their pockets, put it into programs that they then get kickbacks from. Although the root of one of the bases for the fraud in California is this crazy taxes they have everywhere. And if anybody is suffering in California because of gas prices, it's his fault. He's the one helping pass the laws, helping promote the laws that make California one of the highest places where you're going to find gas prices. It's ungodly. I mean, we have people in the group. Ask them. They will tell you how terrible California is when it comes to energy, when it comes to the cost for the average person. The average person in California suffers greatly, and it does so because of the policies of these Democrats.
Okay. Well, that was good. See, this is why I have you here, Monkey, because these are like American politics that you understand.
Sometimes I gotta chimp out.
Yeah. Okay. We should be in DC to end the war and bring gas and food prices down. That's what he's saying. Okay. Well, the gas prices are low right now. I mean, not gas prices, like oil prices are low. So how long does it take?
No, but okay. Here's the trick. I'm going to tell you the trick. He is helping every Democrat that has high gas prices inside their state, right? He is helping them tell the lie that it's not their policies that is making gas prices high. It's because of Trump. It's because of the war. So every blue state, every state that has high gas prices because of their local policy, uses him and people like him to blame that, even though it's their taxes and they're pocketing that money. They get to blame that on Trump, blame that on the administration, even though it's literally them. When they say people are fed up with the high gas prices, is because these states take advantage of a situation like Iran, hike up the gas prices and blame Trump and pocket the money.
That's kind of clever, though. It's evil, but it's kind of clever. Like, oh, war, let's make gas prices more expensive and with tax and take the money and say it was the war. That is pretty clever, isn't it? Evil, but clever.
Very clever, very evil.
Yes. Yeah. We got Sayed is give us a super chat saying Monkey is right. Same thing in Washington State. Wait, Texas, can you send that to me in a Telegram? Because Texas is saying here's a map of gas prices, so we could compare states with each other. That was pretty cool. All right. Who is this guy again? I forgot his name. People, Maria Nafal. Do you know him? He has some really crap takes. I've recently noticed.
Yes.
Okay, that's all we need to know about him, right? Like he's talking to enough Islamic Republic propagandists. Like this guy, I know this guy. I know the guy on the right more than I know the guy on the left. So why is he talking to him?
To help him?
How did he? Okay. So he's talking to him regarding a possible. Let's listen to him. This is so odd. Like I've seen you guys talk about how bad this guy is, and I'm now seeing he's talking to Fuad Izzadi. Like, how did he get in touch with Fuad Izzadi? This is like a regime propagandist of the Islamic Republic. So let's hear this.
Will the current Supreme Leader Mustafa Khamenei be at the funeral? Do we know?
I hope not, because we had the Israeli defense minister threatening to kill him again. And it's, Israelis have done terrorism since 1948. They're good at it. And I hope he doesn't show up because it's not going to be safe.
That's pretty wild. The fact that there's ongoing negotiations right now, the war has come to an end, and the leader of a country is worried to go to a funeral of his father because he's worried he may be assassinated.
Wow, he seems very sympathetic to the Supreme Leader, no? Like, oh, so sad. He can't go to his father's funeral.
It's disgusting.
Wow. Is he American? Where is he from?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have heard of him. This is the first time I see his face, and hear his voice.
Interesting. Well, this is treason. Oh, people say Elon Musk unfollowed him. Really? Why did he even follow him to begin with? He's supporting the enemy. Like, wow, so sad. Mushtaba can't go to his father's funeral. By the way, this is a great excuse right now for Mushtaba not showing up. So we had Israel Katz recently, the defense minister of Israel, saying that, we're going to come independent from United States. We're going to go, F up the Islamic Republic when we're ready. We're going to do that ourselves pretty soon. And they're like, oh, Islamic Republic is going to say like, oh, okay, we're going to say, hey, Islamic Republic, take notes. This is what you have to say. We had plans to bring out Mujtaba, but because of these recent developments, we can't. Right? Isn't that a great excuse?
Is Mujtaba more useful alive than dead to us?
No, basically the excuse for not bringing Mujtaba out in the funeral of the Ali Khamenei is going to be the recent threats by Israel against the Islamic Republic. That's going to be their excuse.
No, I agree with that. It was just like a separate caption. I completely agree with that. That's what they would say if they're smart. If they're listening to you, they're smart. But do you think would they be better off with him or without him? Would we be better off with him or without him?
We would be better off with Mujtaba being like not present. Like we're better with exactly the current situation, like a Schrodinger's Mujtaba. So he's in a superposition of being both dead and alive until you open the box. This is the most ideal situation for us right now. So
okay,
we should stay. Yeah.
It creates the most division.
It creates the most division. It creates the most uncertainty. It creates the diminishing of the supreme leader role. So if he was alive completely, it would be like, okay, well, he's there, so let's follow his orders. If he was dead, then they would like, okay, let's make another supreme leader, and that one would be alive. This situation where people are like, well, where is he alive? Is he dead? Like, what the fuck is going on? This is the most uncertain, most divisive, most the best situation where people would lose their faith in the supreme leadership situation. This is the most ideal. So the Schrodinger supreme leader in the superposition, it's better if we just keep it like that. It's better if it doesn't collapse into any of these two positions. Just keep it both dead and alive for now.
Okay, I agree. I see what you mean.
Right. Ooh. Let me see. I have something to send to my research team to show you guys. We got 3 super chats. Thank you so much, guys. EF with the super chat saying prices in general are high partly due to regulations, and Dems want more regulation because rich people exist. Well, Dems want the rich people to be themselves. But yeah, go on.
I would say rich people hate regulation. There is a point at which they like it, but it's a very high point, and it's that point where regulation bars entry for others. That's why we want a little regulation, but not too much. You can't have a completely anarcho-capitalist state. That doesn't make any sense. You need some regulation. But I think we've spoken about this. You've spoken about this a little bit.
Yeah. So if your company is getting so big that then regulations are good so that you could stop competition. But the big giant companies like regulations to stop competition. Politicians love regulation because regulations are basically it increases the size of what they do and gives them control and brings their agencies, government agencies, more wealth. Takes it from the private sector.
Entrepreneurs don't like it, but because it stopped them from entry into the market.
Exactly. And Sapir, hi Sapir, thank you for the super chat saying, want to remind that compared to Europe and Israel, gas prices are low as F in the United States. I'm trying to be more polite these days, guys. Gas prices are low as F in the United States. Yeah, compared to Europe.
Very good point.
Interesting. Very good point. But I don't support that if that's because of subsidies, by the way. That's unnatural. If in Europe and Israel gas prices are low because the government is subsidizing them, then that's not good. It might look good at the pump, but overall the citizens are paying more for it elsewhere. So you might think like, oh my God, look at this, gas prices are low. And if those gas prices are low because of subsidies, you're actually paying more for it than the Americans. You just don't know it. They're charging you somewhere else for it. If it is because of subsidies. So if it's because of subsidies, then that would mean that in Europe and Israel, gas prices are higher than in United States. If it is from subsidies, you just don't see it at the pump. Oh, she meant the opposite? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did she mean the opposite? Oh, they're higher in Europe. So okay, so she meant the
Yeah,
opposite.
they're low AF in US.
Okay, they're low in AF in US. Okay, so why?
Well, I think there's a lot of regulation in Europe. I know that there's a lot of regulation in Europe, about as much as in California, which is why they have high gas prices.
So now we have a full set picture. Let's look at Iran, Europe, and Israel, United States. So United States is low. Iran is the lowest. Europe and Israel are the highest, right? So highest Europe and Israel, mid would be US, lowest would be Iran. I think US is the ideal because you're telling me that Europe and Israel is the higher because of regulation. United States, less regulation, also no subsidies. Iran is the lowest gas prices for cars because of subsidies. So the ideal is the United States because you don't want it to be as high as Europe and Israel because of regulations, if I'm understanding this correctly. But you
They also don't produce, like they could produce, but they don't. Like Europe refuses to produce their own oil, so they're importing.
Okay. And also, you don't want it to be as low as it is in Iran because you're paying for it somewhere else. Let's go with that. All right, let's go to the next super chat. Sayed, thank you so much for the super chat saying, stop the BS. There is no Mushtaba to show. I mean, yeah, you might be right. That is likely. I don't know how likely, but we don't know. I mean, the Americans and Israelis are telling us that he's alive. They might be messing with us. What do you think, Monkey? Because the Americans and Israelis are saying that their intelligence shows that he's alive. He might be dead though, and maybe the Americans and Israelis are just saying that for playing mind games. What do you think? Do you think he's alive? Guys in the chat, do you think he's dead?
So my question is, why don't they have like some video, some voice clip of him talking, right? So it's not that we believe he's dead because we're wishful thinking. It's the regime itself. What are their motivations for not having a video? Like even if he's scarred, it will just be like war scars or whatever, right? So this is what is leading a lot of people to say, well, why don't they just like have a short little video, like an Instagram, a selfie reel where he's like saying, yo, what's up? I'm still alive. We the best or whatever. We're gonna get 72 goats in heaven. I don't know what like something like a voice message, him singing some Haydar. I don't know. Like, why no voice? Why no video? Like, wherever you are, you can do this. They have the technology. So this is leading to a lot of people to just doubt that he's alive. And why would the regime itself not have a video or an audio confirmation that he's alive?
Maybe he's been so severely injured that his voice is bad now. Is that possible?
Yes, maybe he doesn't have a tongue anymore. Maybe his whole lower jaw got pulled out with the tongue, and he can't. He's over there. That he needs like an iron jaw for the future, and a vocoder. He needs to type in his messages like Stephen Hawking's. Hello, I am the supreme leader, and he's typing it in his keyboard. I love goats and little boys.
You. Which one is more disgusting? I think the little boy one is more disgusting.
Yes.
Yeah. I just looked it up really quickly. Why are gas prices higher in Europe and Israel? It's 3 reasons. Heavy taxes. European and Israeli taxes make up 50 to 70% of the pump price, compared to just 15% in the US. Import reliance. The US is the world's top oil producer. Europe and Israel import almost all their oil, adding heavy shipping and procurement costs. And then the third reason is geopolitical spikes. Regional conflicts and shipping blockades directly squeeze supply in Mediterranean and Europe. While the US remains insulated by domestic production. So those are the 3 reasons why gas prices are higher in Europe and Israel.
I'd love to see what the tax at the pump is difference between Texas and California.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so this one was sent to me by Texas Troop for us to react to.
This asshole. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, crap take by Nick Fuentes regarding.
Oh, they're both terrible.
They're both terrible. Yeah, so let's actually see. So guys, we're watching this thanks to Texas Troop in the chat. Let's see what this one is. Let's go through it.
We're just not anywhere closer to a deal than we were a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a year ago. It's fundamentally, it's the same impasse on every single thing. And so now Trump says, we're back at square one with the military threats. So we're going to bomb Iran if they don't behave. And you say, well, what has changed? What military option is available now that wasn't available in April? That wasn't available, when you threaten to annihilate Iranian civilization. What are you going to do? Take Karg Island, invade the islands in the Strait of Hormuz? I mean, what realistically are you going to do that wasn't on the table then but is on the table now? You can't. There's nothing you can do. We're just not.
He makes it seem as if like nothing happened during the first round of the operation. Like, what can you do? Maybe the same, given how a successful Operation Epic Fury was, maybe just more of that. Like, he seems go on.
Look, this guy isn't stupid. He's evil. He knows we have to resupply. He knows the people need rest. He knows that the situations do change. He knows we may be playing for time. He knows this. He knows. He's now starting to say, no, I'm going to vote for the Democrats because the Republicans have betrayed the U.S. This guy is just a fucking, he just hates Israel. That's his whole thing. That's his whole personality. He hates Israel. That's it. He pretends this is a fake right, the ISO cuck right, the woke right. That's what he is. And the other guy is not much better. The other guy is that fresh and fit guy. He's terrible too. These two are idiots. You shouldn't listen to him because they'll pepper a little bit of truth, like he's right about, the situation at the start, and then he lies and pretends that nothing has changed throughout. He's pretending that nothing has changed. And they play it up with this little dramatic music, like he's revealing, oh my God, he's so brave. Oh my God, let me put this little music in. It's so manipulative. Fuck this piece of shit.
That's so good. I like that. Yeah, Texas Troop, send us more videos like that. This is good.
I got it out of my system. I'm happy now. I have to get it out of my system though.
That was good. That was fantastic. Love it. You know what we need to do? We need to get somebody to go and just watch Nick Fuentes, watch Tucker Carlson, watch Anna Kasparian, watch Cenk Uygur, watch who else? Who else do we have?
Oh no, the worst one, Hassan Piker,
and just clip them. Are like that person? Just go clip the parts that we need to respond to, and just send it to us, and get our monkey here chimping out against them, right? So yeah, basically give us every day, supply us with a series of crap takes from these people, and then let's get the monkey.
Okay. I volunteer a sacrifice for the chimp out clips. If you want chimp out clips, that's fine. Send the chimp out clips, and I may have to chimp out. It's gonna have to come naturally, but you know what? I may have to just, just.
Well, your job is easier than the person who's gonna Texas trips. Like, I guess I have my assignment for the weekend. Yeah. Okay, so at least you get to respond to it. That the person who has this assignment has to watch hours and hours of these videos and clip out the important parts without even getting to respond to it like in front of other people. So that's
I'll try to channel channel their rage from the ether and and project it into the chimp out.
Yeah. Oh, also, it's good because we have Jew Hater here, so he does that for us. Like, he comes here with the most crap take anyway, so we don't have to go chase and find these bad takes because he just gives us a super chat and we respond to him instead. Speaking of, we got 2 super chats. George is saying it was never about the deal; it was always about the negotiation. Without the negotiations, there would be nothing but dead air between events. Yeah, so you again, you're right. These people keep talking about the deal, like what deal? It's an MoU. It's basically an excuse for a pause on the military operations so that you could resupply your munitions, so that you could give your troops some rest, so that you could get ready for the elections, so that you could keep defanging the Islamic Republic in other ways everywhere else. None of this is over. Like, these people need to study history of warfare because this is pretty normal. You the fight escalates, then it pauses, then it escalates again, then it pauses. These people, I don't know, is this a TikTok generation that doesn't understand that 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, it's nothing. It's nothing. Given, look at other wars. Like, this is normal. This is normal pause between different rounds of military operations. It's not over yet.
No, I mean they purposefully misunderstand. That listen, I know that there are people that say, you should side on the side of these people are stupid. But I think when you see a pattern like this, you have to say, hey, no, these people are evil, they're just evil.
Okay, so the next super chat is actually the most helpful super chat I've seen from Jew Hater, because I'm trying to find people with bad takes to respond to, right? So Jew Hater is saying that these are, and I think by Parsi, you mean Trita Parsi, right? So thank you for helping me add to, like, I'm coming up with a list of people that we know are garbage takes that we need to respond to. So yeah, Trita Parsi, you're right, is a garbage analyst. I'm going to add to that list. And I also, who else did you said? Alistair Crook. Okay, this is great. Thank you for your help, Jew Hater. I never thought I would say that. Right? I mean, if you think they're great, they must be horrible. So, yeah.
Yo,
So
I think I found the quote. I think I found it. Never attribute to stupidity that which can adequately be explained by a long-standing pattern of malice, of evil. Like these people have a pattern. You can't be just stupid and display this pattern, right? If you did it once in a while, okay, maybe that was a stupid take. But when you're consistently wrong about everything, you're doing it on purpose.
Oh, look at this. Appear with the super chat saying in Israel, look at gas prices in Israel, $9.45 per gallon in Israel. $9.
I would chimp out. I would chimp out.
Okay. Let me see. What are gas prices in Iran in USD? Very short answer, because let's compare it to Iran. Look at that. How much is subsidized? So how much is it in US?
I don't know. Can you compare California and Texas at the pump? I see how much is taxed. I think that would be interesting.
So how much is it in California and in Texas right now? Very short answer. Okay, so in Iran, it's right now is 3 cents per liter. How much is that per? Oh, that's $1.36 per gallon. So, okay, so that's in Iran. Oh, between 23 cents to $1.36 per gallon. Oh, we have the free market version and we have the regular. So most of the time until now, it was the heavily government subsidized version, which was 23 cents per gallon. Now the government is running out of money, so it's getting more free market, which is getting $1.36 per gallon. In California, it's $5.40. In Texas, it's $3.34. Okay. Let me see. Interesting. That's a huge gap. Guys, don't be jealous of Iranians paying only 23 cents per gallon, because the price of that is living in Iran. That's the price of that is basically living in Iran right now. So that's what you have to pay.
And there's been a lot of loss and death and destruction and suffering.
Yeah, and the government is charging you somewhere else. Okay, this is interesting. All right, we got another super chat here. Clown World with a super chat saying Nick Fuentes is dangerous because he's actually very smart and educated on history. He's very manipulative and downplays positive to push his hate.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for backing me up here. Like, I understand that sometimes these people are stupid, but you can't underestimate your enemy. And I want to thank you for the super chat and for letting people know that we understand. At least you definitely understand, and I do, that these people, and I know Armin does too, that some of these people are being very manipulative, very purposefully deceitful. And I thank you for your super chat.
Yeah. And Nick Fuentes, I completely agree. Like I've watched Nick Fuentes a lot. I know he's very smart. So how do we deal with that, by the way? Like what do you think is the best strategy against people like Nick Fuentes?
Well, you got to understand who he's appealing to, like why he is appealing to a person, and then show this person why this person is working against your interests. Right. So like he would be appealing to a middle America person that thinks that our involvement in foreign affairs has been a detriment to us and has hurt us. Like, let's say he will appeal to someone that thinks we are giving a whole lot of money to Israel. So how do you combat that? And say, no, wait a minute, we're giving them a discount on weapons they buy from us. So they're spending more here than we're giving them in the discount. Obviously, it's like 10 to 15% on really good weapons. And what we also gain, aside from them purchasing, we gain not having to have spent 47 years in the Middle East. We just arm them, and out of their own self-interest, they will use these weapons to defend themselves against the enemies of us and them.
Oh, we got more super chats. Jew haters say we can make same argument against neocons and Zionists. How would you respond to that?
Well, I don't know which argument he's talking about, but I guess you could, straw man any perspective.
Well, my response is that you don't actually use arguments. You just come and insult and make claims. You could say that we can make the arguments, but I haven't ever seen you make an argument. You just make claims without ever backing it up. So there you go.
That's an excellent point.
I have a very interesting new development. We just got today, about 5 hours ago, we got some pictures released by Tasnim News. You guys know Tasnim is an IRGC affiliated media news source, and they just came out and released a picture. You guys know what I'm going to show you. I saw some people in the chat knew about this already. They were talking about it. Look at this. So this is Tasnim News. What do you see here? Here, let me one picture. You see that?
I do.
He's back. That's Vahidi. Vahidi is back.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot the pigeon poop stain on his forehead.
Oh yeah, the pigeon poop. Yeah, he's back. He's alive. Vahidi not dead. The head of IRGC is not dead. He's out of his hole. This is very significant.
We have to
Sure.
ask Rock, is this AI? I'm joking.
This is not AI. Yeah, this. Yeah, so guys, Vahidi is alive. He's not dead.
Well, we know
And
why he came back, right? It's pretty obvious.
What?
He wants that corn. He wants that hay.
Oh, okay. So we talked about this on the Persian channel, and I have a theory for why now he's out. No, guys, this is not an old picture. This is new. And look at this. This is Tasnim News saying presence of Vahidi in the meeting of the headquarters holding the farewell ceremony of the martyred leader. Okay, so this is a meeting regarding the funeral for Ali Khamenei. He's in this meeting. So he's over here, and yeah, that's him, right? So I have a theory for why he's out and he's not hiding anymore. So for people who don't know who this is, let's go to our sheet of the Islamic Republic, the boom boom sheet, Turkish
bingo
sheet. Bingo, yes. So again, if this is this is the entirety of not the entirety, most of the Islamic Republic, and you can see in this chart, this is the IRGC segment, right? And in the IRGC, you can see that Vahidi is the head of the IRGC right now. Okay, the main head of the IRGC. So he hasn't been seen for a while. We have been receiving statements from him, but we haven't been seeing him. So many people assume that he's dead. But now we see he's not dead. And I have a theory for why he's out.
Well, the funeral would require military planification too. They would have to watch out defensively. I believe look, I'm just gonna like let's say I was in his position. I would have man pads all over there. Right? In case there is a low fly coming over. If someone tries to do a low fly, that's gonna give a heat signature that you can hit with a man pad.
That's not good enough. Like Israel, if the Israelis want him dead, if the Israelis want to kill him, he would be dead with a drone. Like there's nothing that if he's out, he knows that there is only one thing that could keep him alive right now. What is that one thing?
So you think they're keeping him alive on purpose?
If Israel wants to kill him, there is nothing that could stop him except there's nothing that could stop Israel from. If he's out in the open, if he's in an office, if he's not hiding in a bunker somewhere, in a shelter somewhere, if he's out, then Israel can kill him immediately.
So you think those windows, there's light outside because they're out in the sun, not because this is some underground place they're building?
He's not. No, this is not under the ground. This is we know, like people know this office, right? So he's outside. If you take pictures of him, Israel will know where he is. If any sign of life means that he would be exposed. Like guys, when people try to hide from Israel, they have to stop communication with anybody with the outside world. No pictures, no sound, no nothing. There needs to be multiple degrees of separations between them and the outside world, and even that sometimes gets them caught. Like this, what you're seeing right now comes with an understanding that Israel is not going to kill me. What is that is stopping Israel from killing him? What has given him the confidence to know that he is not going to be killed for him to come out right now?
Okay, let me present another option, not because I think you're probably right? But let me present another option that people in the chat might say, oh, these pictures were taken. Oh, these pictures were taken earlier. These aren't recent pictures. This was an old meeting, and he's back to hiding or something like that, and they never knew he came up.
Okay, what's happening? Let me tell you what's happening, right? What's happening is this: he has been given the reassurances that Americans have put him on a no-kill list, right? So he has been very, very afraid. So this is one thing that this first part I have high degree certainty of, right? But this second part is now speculation. Okay, so the first part that I said is I'm almost sure about it. But why does he now know that he's on a no-kill list? So, for example, Qalibaf, right now the Israelis could kill Qalibaf right now. Why is Qalibaf now out in the open and walking around? Because the Americans have told the Israelis that Qalibaf is on our no-kill list, so don't touch Qalibaf, right? Because Qalibaf is doing a lot of work for the Americans within the Islamic Republic, right? But how did Vahidi now get on a no-kill list for him to feel secure to come out? Qalibaf was hiding. And I think Qalibaf was not just afraid of the Israeli drone, an Israeli drone killing him. Qalibaf, in my opinion, was also afraid. So, sorry. Vahidi is now out, right? Vahidi is out because he knows now that so Qalibaf has been on a no-kill list, but Vahidi is outside right now because somebody has reassured Vahidi that you're also now on a no-kill list, right? So let me make it very simple. Qalibaf for a while was hiding, but then we saw him come out. Why did Qalibaf come out? Because Qalibaf was reassured by the Americans that you're useful to us, so you are on a no-kill list, and you will remain on a no-kill list as long as you're useful to us. The moment you stop being useful to us, we will remove you from the no-kill list, and the Israelis will have their way with you. That was Qalibaf. But Vahidi was hiding in a hole because Vahidi was afraid of Israelis, and also he was afraid of Qalibaf. Because Vahidi's understanding, in my opinion, is that Qalibaf is working with the Americans, and Qalibaf is selling out anybody within the regime that is not working with him. Right? Vahidi's understanding has been that Qalibaf is selling out everybody within the Islamic Republic that is being an obstacle in his way. So he
Game
was
of Thrones, Game of Durkas.
Yeah, exactly. So he was hiding not just from the Israelis and Americans. Vahidi, in my opinion, was also hiding from Qalibaf. But Qalibaf has gone recently. We had other parts of the IRGC like Ghani, Musavi, and Abdullahi. They came and kissed the ring of Qalibaf, bent the knee because of the US military power and Israelis being there. They realized Qalibaf's power right now. So they recently came and submitted to him. But Vahidi was missing. Vahidi knew that he is the major obstacle in the way of Qalibaf, right? So he was afraid that it would be more convenient for Qalibaf to just get him taken out by Israelis if he comes out, right? So somehow I think Qalibaf has managed to so given that removing Vahidi hasn't happened until now, so many of other IRGC's leaders have been killed, I think Qalibaf has told the Americans that we need to get this person out of his hole, so we have to go away from the threat model to the reward model, right? To be able to bring him out. I'm not saying that this is a trap that they're going to kill him, right? Because if they reward him with putting him on a no-kill list and then kill him anyway, then the reward of being on a no-kill list will not have utility in the future anymore. So, and Vahidi knows that. Vahidi knows that if they come and tell him that, listen, we're going to put you on a no-kill list, come out from wherever you are, they are going to abide by that agreement, because if they don't, then Qalibaf would not be able to control anyone else within the IRGC, because nobody is going to be trusting being on a no-kill list. So I think Qalibaf has basically managed to send the message to Vahidi that come out, work with me, don't be so annoying, don't stand in my way, and in return, I'll get the Americans to put you on a no-kill list for the Israelis not to kill you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes and no. I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand the why. This is just so Qalibaf can show his power? or are we letting them whip all their heads out so we can later strike them all at once?
This is because I think Qalibaf is proving to the Americans that he's being useful to the Americans, not because he's a good person, but because he doesn't want to die, right? Because the Americans could immediately remove Qalibaf from a no-kill list, and basically, if Americans remove Qalibaf from a no-kill list, he would be dead. The Israelis would just kill him, right? So Qalibaf is is desperately trying to find ways to make moves within the Islamic Republic to make different segments of the Islamic Republic give in to the American demands, right? I mean, I have a lot of speeches from him recently that I could show you. He's actually becoming more and more open. He's trying to come up with justifications that the corn and hay or whatever is fine, that the deal is fine, the MoU is fine, that the revenge for the blood of our supreme leader needs to happen at another time, that we need to fix the economy, that we need to take the economy from the IRGC, that the supreme leadership, that not everything could be under the control of the supreme leadership. So to me, it seems like Qalibaf is proving to be a very useful inside man to the Americans. So if he goes to the Americans and saying like, Vahidi is the head of IRGC, and you need to basically slowly take power away from IRGC, and if the head of the IRGC, if the stick is not working because he's in a hole, like Qalibaf is like, let's try the carrot right now. Let's see if we could basically reward him and make him, if we can't kill him right now, let's at least make him submit to us. Let's see if we promise him, like, we're not going to ask for too much. We're just going to ask him to be a little bit less annoying, maybe, like continue to be pushed against us if you have to, but maybe just like symbolically, but not really that much actually. And in return, for now, you get put on a no-kill list. Do you understand the strategy here?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Texas representative, conflict is proving to be a recruiting tool. Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
exactly.
I think yeah. Guys, did you understand everything that I just said? The game of Durka that we just went through that I explained, was that explained in a way that, okay, so Monkey, now that you understand it, do you want to do the Walmart American version of what I just said, so for people who didn't follow?
Okay, so the Walmart American version is this is our tool. Our tool is Qalibaf. Okay, he needs to get people in line. All right, but the people are afraid that if anybody pop out the weasel, they're gonna get their head smacked. Right, so he's saying, look, I got you. I got your back. If you're on my team, you're not gonna get killed. So come on out. I know we don't like each other, but you got to work with me. And if you work with me, you won't die. So everybody that doesn't want to die better fucking work with me, because I'm the one that's holding back the warheads that are going to go on your forehead if you don't side with me. Am I?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And guys, just to be clear, as a non-American, when I say Walmart American, I'm not suggesting that Americans don't are stupid or anything like that. For example, when we played the video of Rokana as a non-American, I needed Monkey here to explain some things to me. This is just the nature of you not being Iranian and not being that much like involved in your life and following politics in Iran, right? So I need Monkey here, for example, to sometimes explain American politics to me. So when we say this, it's just because of the understanding that there's so much nuance to this, and you guys haven't been following this for a long time. Like, we're not suggesting here that Americans are like dumb or anything like that. Okay.
Also, Walmart is underrated. Like, Walmart's not a bad place. There's there's no bad Walmarts, just bad people. It's like guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. There's no bad Walmarts, just bad people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got 4 super chats. Thank you, guys. Juliet, is that pronouncing it? Larry is saying, what is the percentage of wars started over oil or religion? Well, oil is more like, we have like 10,000 years of civilization, and I'm pretty sure we also had war before civilization. So we had war for 300,000 years. And oil is a more recent thing. Like, oil is becoming more relevant in the past 100 years, right? So given the history of civilization is 10,000 years and oil is becoming relevant in the past 100 years, so I wouldn't say that the huge percentage of it, like I think a very small percentage of it would be based on oil, right? And when it comes to religion, I would say that most of history's wars had a religious branding, because religion was a cult, like religion and culture were the same thing basically. So it would be very hard to separate. I think all wars are about resources. All
Yes.
wars are about resources. Religion or whatever cultural dominant thing at the time, it would be the branding of the war that you're waging, right? Every war, so oil is a resource, but when oil was not the main resource, all other, so oil, war over oil is just a subcategory of all other wars being about resources. So war, the purpose of war is to capture resources, but you need to the ideological branding of the war will depend on what is the dominant ideology of the environment of the environment that war is taking place in. And if the dominant ideology of the environment is, you know, the religion, which for most of human history was always a religion, then that would be the branding of that war. But the purpose is resources. That is just the branding and the ideological reasoning behind it. Does that make sense?
It also makes sense because we have a Christian on Christian war, and that's the like very tiny difference in the ideology, but it's more about which religious leader is bestowing a power on which king, and which king needs those resources, wants control of those people, wants control to tax those people. So it's absolutely more about the resources than it's about the religion. Like religion and is just like a cover that the government wears to do what the government wants to do. And those, the state, I would say, not government. Government has, you know, a different connotation to it. But I absolutely agree. It's more about resources.
It's not more about resources. It's always resources.
Yeah,
it's always resources. Yeah. Guys, culture and religion and ideology is all also, in my opinion, a way of managing resources as well. It's the soft power behind the, you know, we have military power, we have economic power, we have soft power. Culture and religion, to me, is a power that you also use to manage your resources. Okay, and then we have Shauna with the super chat saying, I've heard that some Jews watch Fentus not because they agree, but he's charismatic and funny. Some of his audience is guilty pleasure views. Yeah, maybe.
I would add to that it was shown and discovered bot farms in, I think it was Pakistan or India, that were all watching Nick Fuentes. So he had some of his viewers are just fake, right? So there are definitely, I don't disagree with Sean at all. I'm sure this is probably true. Like people like would react to him, and we're not loving what he says. But there is also a popular thing that's happening, that these people with bad takes, sometimes they're faking the funk. Maybe not even by themselves. Someone else may be propping them up because they want the ideology that person is spewing to seem more popular. Like what it's popular to do on Twitch, which is Hassan Piker's main platform. In Twitch, when you are the one that has the highest views, they put you on the leaderboard. They put you at the top of the screen, right? So that position gives you credence and gives you a better reach because of how popular you seem to be. But you have to understand that some of the followers are fake. This was also demonstrated very visibly when Elon Musk flipped a little switch that lets you see where that account was made. And many of Nick Fuentes' account followers and MAGA 420 or MAGA 1776 at Twitter, who's saying a MAGA American, here for the country, here for America. That account was made in Pakistan. A lot of these people got revealed as being faking their Americanness and just being there to propagate ideas that are detrimental to America. So I understand that he has hate viewers, but he also has fake viewers.
All right, let's go to the super chats. And then Shauna is saying, it makes sense, Armin, but it's not great for the Iranians and the fall of the regime. It depends. So I think you're talking about Vahidi Qalibaf working with the Americans to against different parts of the regime and giving the Americans what they want. Whether it's not good for the fall of the regime, it could be good, it could be bad. The way it could be bad is that if Qalibaf manages to rebrand the Islamic Republic to the world as this new, more agreeable Islamic Republic that is working with the rest of the world, and then use the privatization and opening of the economy to stabilize the new version of the Islamic Republic, that would be bad for the fall of the regime and bad for the Iranian people. That's the bad version. The good version, the more optimistic take, is that whatever weakens the IRGC is good for toppling the regime and the Iranian people, right? So because from the four segments of the Islamic Republic, if it's the Supreme Leadership Office, the IRGC, the suits, the negotiation facing track, which is like Qalibaf right now, and also the Priority Camp, from all of these four, the Iranian people don't have much of a problem basically destroying and crushing and defeating three of them. It's only the IRGC one that is difficult to defeat, right? So if Qalibaf finds different ways to, with the help of the Americans, to remove the IRGC's grip on the economy and reduce their military power as well, eventually we're going to get to a place where the Iranian people's obstacle, which is the IRGC, will be weaker, and eventually an uprising or maybe even a coup d'etat will be able to get rid of the IRGC if we don't have the Islamic Republic falling earlier because of a massive uprising anyways. Like long term, this could still be, depends on how successful the rebranding of the Islamic Republic would be. This is why it's very important that you and I and everyone else continue talking about the nature of the Islamic Republic and how they're fundamentally anti-American, anti-Israeli, and expansionist, even if they do a rebranding. This is why we need to do that, right?
Can I also give a reminder here? I would like to remind everyone that the last time we convinced them that we were negotiating so you can come out, we killed the Ayatollah. So, let them, if we can get them to whip out these heads of state, the more we do, the better, because at some point things may change. And if we know where they are, that's better.
Oh, this one is okay. So Monkey, respond to this one. Debbie, you want to read this one?
U.S. military is the bomb. Yes, we are. We are
Yes.
absolutely the bomb. We got the best bombs. The best bombs, beautiful bombs, bombs that you never see. Everybody says it. Everybody knows it. We have the best bombs.
We do. You do. And Nyla, thank you so much for the super chat saying, can we have a war like we have had during World Cup? It's been so special. God bless America. Oh, wait, is Nyla referring to how so many people from around the world in the United States are coming and being friendly and appreciating the United States and loving America? Is this what she's referring to?
I think she's wants a world where the misconceptions about America have been dispelled and people get to know how most of America really is. There is a warm, welcoming nature. Like, you have to understand, I've always been in America because I'm born in Puerto Rico, but there is a certain thing about growing up half my life in Florida and knowing that where I come from, as you know, the movies and the TV will say that, oh my God, it's a big difference. It's so racist. Not at all. I felt welcome in Texas. I felt welcome in Louisiana. I felt welcome in Georgia. I felt welcome in Maryland from people, Black people, white people. Like, the things that get highlighted are the worst of our times, but the majority, or false, sometimes some of these things are false, but the majority of our interactions that I've had as a person that's like a mixed race Latino have been very good. I've had people welcome me into their home so I could stay with them. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm guessing that's partly because I'm military, but also because, like, if you're racist, you're not going to care if it's someone in the military when they say, yeah, no, come on, stay over, stay for a week. because you know how sometimes, I'll explain this. When you leave the army, there's a period where may have tickets to go home, but you may not have barracks at the base. So there's like this little gap where you might have to stay at a hotel, and people be like, no, none of that. You're not paying for a hotel. You come here, you will pull out this couch bed, and you're gonna stay here. You're not gonna stay in no hotel. You're gonna be welcome, and they welcome you to your home. And this is something that's very heartwarming. And I just love Americans of all shades, all kinds. What makes me upset is how much the white people hate themselves, and this race stuff. It gets exaggerated, but it does exist, and I think it's being propped up and amplified by very, very evil, influential peoples in these NGOs and from outsiders, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, China. I'm going too deep into it, but I'm going to give that super chat some mileage. I want to thank you for that super chat, Nyla.
Yeah, I've been, on YouTube Shorts. Sometimes before I go to sleep, I watch some YouTube Shorts and stuff. What I'm seeing is so many people from around the world are talking about how amazing Americans are and how all of the negative views about Americans and how aggressive or racist, like they're so impressed, like Europeans, Japanese people, Koreans, they are so shocked by how friendly and nice and hospitable the Americans are. They constantly, like, I don't know if you guys know in the chat, let me know if you know about this, but social media is filled with comments about how open and kind Americans are. Is this World Cup has changed the perspective of so many. There's two main comments that people around the world are making about what they're learning about America because of the World Cup, because they're coming to the United States. Is one, how kind they are. Two, how big the portions are. These are the main trending two things that everything, like when they go and when the restaurants, like the portion size of the foods, they're like, what the hell is, like, they are not used to it. Like, they're very shocked by that. But these are the main two trending things that came out of the World Cup.
And air conditioning, they're very surprised, and the air conditioning thing has been huge. I don't know if you've been watching. This is like going viral because they don't have the air conditioning.
I didn't. Yeah, I saw a few videos about that too, but not as much as the other. Two more. Yeah, we've been lied to. They're saying that too. Yeah, exactly. They're saying exactly. They're saying we've been lied to about Americans. That's what they're saying. I think Americans are actually discovering how nice they are, because I think many Americans thought that maybe the stereotype is right. Like, maybe we are more mean than the rest of the world. And now the Americans are discovering, by these foreigners coming to the United States saying how nice you are, America's discovering, like, oh, okay, like maybe actually we're nice.
Hey, we had a low self-esteem for a second there.
Yeah, like, okay, you guys are impressed with us. Okay, well, thank you for letting us know. We didn't know we're this nice. Yeah, the media has been telling you that you're so bad, but these foreigners are telling us we're nice. That's good.
That's
Good to
very true,
know.
though.
Yeah. Okay, so Tom with a super chat and a follow-up to a super chat, which is very nice. Tom, Reincarnation Entertainment, or Tom saying, subscribe to who? Liberty Politics. And then,
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tom. Yes, guys, subscribe to Liberty Politics. Thank you so much. And hit the bell notification while you're at it. And he also then followed up, Angry Monkey, which
Thank
made
you.
me.
I appreciate you. I think we're up to. Oh, I should check.
You're up to 314 subscribers. And he's getting better at it, guys. Like, he's improving his live streams. Guys, when you are on Grease Monkey's live streams, give him feedback. Like, tell him, like, here's how you could improve your streams. He's good
Please.
at receiving. Yes. So, guys, I'm going to put the link to Monkey's channel in the chat. So go subscribe to him. And while you're watching his live streams, the ones that he does without me, let him know, give him some feedback on how he could make it better.
And questions, topics you want to hear. These are all important things. People you want me to react to. It's like, look, man, this guy, he's gonna make you chimp out so hard. You got to see this guy. I want that kind of feedback too. And I'm a third of the way there, right? Around like 333 would be a third.
right? So we're trying to get to 1,000, and we're trying to get to 1,000 watch hours. That's the goal. So, if you want to watch a past broadcast, we had a good one there about the Supreme Court, where I go into how people talk about white replacement theory, but what's going on is black replacement. Like the black people and Latinos, when we started voting for Trump, what the Biden administration did was funnel. And this, I said this for a while, but I have seen other people that kind of start to catch on, not because of me, but start to catch on to the fact that if you look at the migration patterns of these illegal immigrants, they were put in the places where Trump had the most gains with Black and Latino voters. So what they're doing is disenfranchising us. They talk about disenfranchising, but they are the disenfranchisers. They are the ones that are taking away the power of our votes by putting people that don't give a damn about the law, especially voting law, into our district. If they didn't care about the immigration law, they're not going to care about the voting law. They're going to vote themselves into having the power to stay. So it's very important that you guys get out the vote. If you care about Iran, if you care about any of these world global things, and if you care about the power of yourself not being disenfranchised in your own home by these crooked people, make sure you get the vote out. Make sure you stay in tune to these types of topics. And you can check out that Supreme Court video that I did, that stream. You might like some of what you see there.
Okay, this is why we have Monkey here, okay, because this is deep into American politics that I don't have the background or the knowledge for. So we have Monkey covering those for us. Thank you so much for that.
I appreciate you too. Thank you back. I appreciate being thanked, and I appreciate you. I wouldn't be doing this without Armin. I really appreciate him. Love that guy. Give him a like, give him a follow, send him some super chats, give him some digital hugs, and maybe not kisses, but hugs.
Okay. All right, guys. I want to watch this video because this was significant. Okay, before we go, you guys need to see this. Okay, because this video not only shows how significant the internal division with this is new. This is new, fresh. You guys know this guy? I showed this guy to you before. Okay, this is a member of parliament within the Islamic Republic. His name is Ghazanfari. Okay, and it's significant because his videos were being published by IRGC. It's not just that he was a member of parliament, but at least the last video that I showed you that he was talking about against Pezeshkian was released by the IRGC. So he's being backed up by some people in high places, and he's not happy. He is not happy. He thinks there's a coup happening. And let's listen. Hold on, make sure. Yeah. So, okay, there's two things that this shows how significant the internal civil war within the Islamic Republic is, one, but two, it's more importantly, it shows I was right. Okay, I was right regarding what Qalibaf is doing and what the money that he's receiving from the Americans is how he's supposed to be spending it if he wants this to work out. So the strategy that I predicted for Qalibaf on what to do with everything the Americans are giving him is exactly what he's doing. And given that given that multiple strategies by Qalibaf has been predicted by me, it gives me some confidence that I'm analyzing what's happening behind the scenes correctly. Okay, so watch this.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. ملت عزیز ایران، عده‌ای بنا دارند تا مراسم شب‌ها رو در میادین و خیابان‌های شهرهای مختلف کشور به تدریج کمرنگ و سپس تعطیل کنند.
So he's saying, dear people, there are some who are trying to reduce the size of the population of the people in the streets. So guys, remember the people in the streets, the ones who are out there, they're saying no negotiations, no MoU, keep don't forget the blood of our supreme leader, we have to get revenge and crap like that. So that those nightly protests has been happening for more than 100 days. Like it's been, I don't know, actually 3 months now, right? Every night these people are outside. So he's saying there are some who are trying to reduce the size of these nightly gatherings. Okay, to send them to go back home.
یک شبه کودتای سیاسی علیه رهبری نظام هست.
So he's saying this is a coup d'etat against the supreme leader. The people who are trying to do this, they're doing a coup d'etat against the supreme leader, against Mujtaba.
در این راستا مدتی شروع کردن طبق گزارشاتی که به ما رسیده پولهای کلانی در حد چندین هزار میلیارد تومان دارن هزینه میکنند.
He's saying that we have reports that they're spending a lot of money, like millions of dollars. چند صد هزار میلیارد دلار. Yeah, basically millions of dollars on emptying the streets, right?
جمعی از مداحان عزیز رو که این مدت در میادین و خیابان‌ها برای مردم مداحی می‌کردند با دادن پول‌های کلان از اونها خواستن که دیگه در خیابان‌ها و میادین حضور نداشته باشند و مداحی.
So he's saying the religious vocalists, the maddahs that come and say these chants and get people riled up, they're paying them money so that they don't come out into the streets anymore. This is the exact thing I said that when Qalibaf, if he gets a couple of billion from the Americans, this is what he should be spending it on if he's trying to do what the Americans want to make sure that negotiations and MoU. I told you Qalibaf needs to have 3 strategies to use this money effectively. He needs to use this money to bribe some people, threaten some people, and eliminate some people. And he's saying that there's huge amounts of money that is being spent around to empty the streets from the people who are coming and saying no to MoU, no to negotiations, war until we get the revenge of the blood of the supreme leader.
جمعی از خطبا و سخنرانان رو هم همینجور پولهای کلانی به بعضی از
like other people, the people who come give speeches in these protests, right? Like they're giving them money also to not show up anymore.
I think you've been saying this for 2 days at least.
Yes, this is exactly what I predicted Qalibaf needs to do. And he's saying that we have reports that they're doing that.
دیگه در این مراسم برای مردم سخنرانی
Like Vance starts saying, Armin, kindly stop giving carpet weaver advice. Vance starts, you should watch my Persian channel because I'm giving both sides advice. So Vance is like, Qalibaf is copying what I'm saying. But yeah, go watch my Persian show before the ones that I did here. I give the other people advice on how to make moves against Qalibaf. I give Qalibaf advice on how to make moves against them, but also these Durka jihadi people, I give them advice as well. I'm helping both sides.
Also, maybe that's not fair. Maybe they did it on their own. They're not listening to Armin, but Armin is just making an extremely educated guess on what's going to happen.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm not that deluded to think.
But you know, some people don't get sarcasm, so we have to lay it out for some people. So, hey guys, we're kidding.
Yes, guys. Every time I'm saying like, "Oh my God, my prediction came true," they're probably listening to me and taking notes. That's a joke, okay? That's a joke. But let's continue. Or is it? Oh, okay.
تا این مراسم کمرنگ بشه و سپس تعطیل بشه. این افرادی که در برخی مراکز خاص پولها و بودجه‌هایی گرفتن برای کارهای فرهنگی، برای حمایت از فعالیت‌های انقلابی و اون رو دارند الان علیه رهبری نظام صرف می‌کنند و برنامه‌ریزی می‌کنند.
He's saying these educational centers, these cultural centers, these religious centers, they receive money to defend the ideals of our revolution and stuff. But now that same money is being used against. So he's saying the religious centers and mosques and Husseinias and stuff, these cultural centers, the money that is given to them, instead of being used to support the Islamic Republic and the ideals of a revolution, is that same money is being used to advertise against our supreme leader.
So he's saying basically that the boots are buying the streets, or the street leaders.
Qalibaf. Not well. So the boots are complicated because we have different boots affiliated with different segments.
Suits.
So
my bad. I meant suits.
The suits. Yes, the suits. Qalibaf's position. He's mostly accusing them. Exactly.
برای نظام صرف میکنن و برنامه‌ریزی میکنن حواسشون باشه فکر نکنن که نمایندگان مجلس از این فعالیت‌های اونها خبری ندارند. از مداحان عزیز
we are aware of what's happening here.
و سخنرانان عزیز میخوایم حواسشون جمع باشه. اون پولپاشی هایی که ابن زیاد میکرد برای اینکه مردم رو از اطراف مختار پراکنده کنه، شبیه همون پولپاشی ها الان داره انجام میشه تا مداحان و سخنرانان رو از اطراف امام جامعه و رهبر جامعه پراکنده کنن، موجب تعطیل شدن این مراسم بشن. مراقب باشید، آخرت خودتون رو به دنیا نفروشید و مواظب این پولهای شبهناک باشید. نامه‌های
So he's saying to the religious leaders, the religious vocalists, journalists, the people who come give speeches. He says, don't sell out your afterlife for this world. Like basically, he's saying you're gonna get this money, but then you're gonna go to hell. Like you're selling your afterlife for the comforts of this world.
Life lovers. So another point here is this would make anybody that doesn't go out seem like he's been bought.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
بسیج زده شده که بسیجی‌ها دیگه از این مراسم حمایت نکنن. از این تجمعات
Oh wait, Basij? What did you say about the Basij?
باشید. آخرت خودتون رو به دنیا نفروشید و مواظب این پول‌های شبهناک باشید. نامه‌هایی به بسیج زده شده که بسیجی‌ها دیگه از این مراسم حمایت.
Oh, he's saying they're look at this. He's exposing everything. He's saying the Basiji centers, the morality police for those Basiji people, their bases are receiving letters telling them to stop supporting these gatherings.
نکنن. از این تجمعات مردم در میادین و خیابان‌ها حمایت نکنن. و مجلس رو هم 4 ماه به تعطیلی کشاندن تا نمایندگان مجلس نتوانند به انجام این شبه کودتای سیاسی علیه رهبری نظام اعتراض کنند.
He's saying they have closed down the parliament. They means Qalibaf, right? He's saying they have closed down the parliament so that members of parliament could not protest and speak against this current coup against our supreme leader.
اینها همه در یک راستا دارند.
Guys, you see this? Guys, everything we're telling you that was happening behind the scenes, he's exposing that we were right, that all of that is happening.
اینها همه در یک راستا دارند. در راستای این شبه کودتای سیاسی ببینید جناب پزشکیان و اطرافیانش دارن چه کار میکنن.
Oh, he's saying like look at what Pezeshkian and the people around him are doing. You know, it's interesting because he's being a coward here. I don't know if he's going to mention Qalibaf or not. I don't remember. But Pezeshkian is easy to name because Pezeshkian can't do anything against you, right? So he's basically protesting right now against both Qalibaf and Pezeshkian. But Qalibaf is a scarier name to speak against. Pezeshkian is an easier name to speak against. Everybody knows that, you know, Arakchi, Pezeshkian, and Qalibaf are considered to be in the same camp. But speaking against Pezeshkian and Arakchi is easy, but they're a bit afraid of maybe sometimes mentioning Qalibaf because something might happen to them, right?
They're afraid of taking a swim in their pool?
Yes, exactly.
پررنگ کردن نقش شعام و کمرنگ کردن نقش رهبری نظام و مجلس دارن. ببینید
Oh, he's saying like look at what the presidency is doing. The president office, the video that we showed you on Ali's show yesterday, he's referring to that. He's saying they're trying to making the Supreme National Council, right? This one, they're trying to reduce. He's saying these people like Pezeshkian, they're trying to reduce the power of the supreme leadership and instead increase the power of the Supreme Security Council instead. That's what he's saying. That's what's happening. Right?
So this is a fight between the branches of government.
Well, I mean, branches of
way.
government. Yeah, in a way, yes, yeah.
نقش رهبری نظام و مجلس دارن. ببینید صحبت‌های ضد انقلابی که یکی از معاونین آقای پزشکیان همین اخیراً اینها سعی در پررنگ کردن نقش شعام و کمرنگ کردن نقش رهبری نظام و مجلس دارن.
Okay, so he's saying that they're trying to reduce the power of the supreme leadership and the parliament, the legislative branch, and instead increase the power of the Supreme Security Council. Okay, so because Qalibaf and Pezeshkian are in here, look at this. Oh, wait, that gets too small. Qalibaf is here, Arakchi is here, and Pezeshkian is here. And they're saying they're trying to increase the power of this and then reduce the power of the supreme leadership and reduce the power of the parliament. That's what he says they're doing.
So a very loose translation would be you're increasing the power of the administration and lowering the power of the legislative.
So here's the thing:
I know it's all fake, but like if you're talking to Walmart Americans, would this be like a loose translation that might work?
Okay, so the reason the legislative branch's power doesn't come from the fact that they actually legislate or pass laws, right? The reason why the parliament is now significant in his eye is because there are a whole bunch of durka jihadi, anti-deal, anti-MoU people here, and the only thing that they could do is that they have the soft power of speaking against the MoU and the negotiations. So that's why the Qalibaf is trying to keeping the parliament shut down for 4 months right now, right? Because if he's because you might think like, well, Qalibaf is the head of the parliament. Why would he want to shut down the branch of the government that he's the head of, right? Well, because this parliament is filled with people who are against the negotiations, right? So, and Qalibaf doesn't get his power from being the head of the parliament. He gets his power from somewhere else, right?
So he's getting his power from the administration. That's why he's working against his own legislative branch.
He gets his power from the United States military right now.
No,
right?
okay, but like, please bear with me. I'm sorry if I'm belaboring the point, but if I'm going to explain this to an American in words that they would kind of like relate to, that might be like, I'm understanding that this is very loose. You can't believe that these people actually legitimately won any votes, that they have any legitimate positions, that they have any legitimate support from the majority of Iranians, but very loosely. Do you understand what I mean?
Very loosely, like I wouldn't say administrative, because I would just say that he's trying to make this body called the Supreme Security Council more powerful and be the head of it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Just simple, right? Because that was already, because the reason why it's easier to do this with this body is because this body, when Ali Khamenei was alive, this part of the government was Ali Khamenei's hammer. Okay, so Ali Khamenei made decisions for the entire Islamic Republic. So completely sidelining the parliament, the judiciary, and the legislative. Everybody was like sidelined. And to make it seem like Ali Khamenei was not making the decisions, he would make his decisions and pretend that it was just the Supreme Security Council, even though it was just Ali Khamenei. But now with Ali Khamenei dead, given that when Ali Khamenei was alive, he made this the part of the government that made all the decisions for him. Now Qalibaf is saying like, okay, without Qalibaf, I'll make this institution mine, and I will continue making decisions through this institution. Does that make sense?
And this guy is claiming that Mujtaba is just like a figurehead there, maybe being sequestered, but trying to give credibility to that branch that this guy wants to lead and use.
So this guy is claiming, like before, when Ali Khamenei was alive, okay, Ali Khamenei was the head of the Supreme Security Council. He would say what they to do. But now that Mujtaba is supreme leader, the connection between two is being severed, and Qalibaf, as a member of the Supreme Security Council, is in charge of the Supreme Security Council. And this is the institution that is now in power, has the main power, political power within the Islamic Republic. That's what Qalibaf is trying to do.
And what does this guy claim the relationship is actually between Mujtaba and this council and Qalibaf? Is he claiming
that some people who he's not naming except Pezeshkian are basically doing a coup d'etat against Mujtaba using this branch of the government?
Got it.
Got it. Okay, that's what he's saying. So let's continue. Is everybody in the chat following? Like, are you guys understanding this? He's exposing everything that he is exposing everything that we have been telling you in the past few months.
I also want to know, am I making good questions or am I being annoying?
Yes, because I have a curse of knowledge, meaning that I can't know what you guys don't, because I know things and I don't know if I'm transferring them properly. So by you asking them, it makes it easy for me to understand if I'm explaining it. But after you ask those questions, once I answer them, did that make it understandable now?
I understand now, but the chat says I'm annoying.
What? No, people are saying, no, he's not being annoying. No,
it's just one guy. It's just one guy. I thought it'd be funny to say it.
Yeah. I thought he was talking about me. I thought I was.
And they may be joking. I don't know.
Okay. So what? Oh, Naila is saying, why is he saying these things right now? Because Qalibaf is becoming more and more successful, and Mujtaba is being sidelined. So he's trying to tell the people the warning. He's warning everybody. Okay, let's continue with the rest.
نظام و مجلس دارن. ببینید صحبت‌های ضد انقلابی که یکی از معاونین آقای پزشکیان همین اخیراً بیان کردن چی گفتن. ایشون گفته اگر قرار باشد.
So he's now reading one of the messages of Pezeshkian's deputies, I think. Muavin is deputy. This, what he's reading, we played the video of this yesterday on Ali's live stream. Okay, so
تنها نظر رهبری اجرا شود که دیگر مجلس و شورا معنا ندارد.
He's saying he basically that person from the presidency has said that if Mujtaba Khamenei is making all the decisions, what's the point of having all of these other branches of the government like the Supreme Security Council? So more people, he's saying like, look at the audacity for somebody to come out within the Islamic Republic saying that we shouldn't be just following the commands of the supreme leader. I mean, he's right about that, because when I was in Iran, that was insane for somebody to say that. And now we're hearing that statement from the presidency. Yesterday, we played that video. Somebody from the presidency, from the office of presidency, was giving a speech on behalf of the presidency within the Islamic Republic, saying that the supreme leader has his opinions. It doesn't mean that we should follow it. This is an official, this is from the government of the Islamic Republic, from the regime, saying just because supreme leader has an opinion, that doesn't mean we should follow it. We could consider it, but we have other branches of the government that makes decisions. This was unheard of until 2 days ago within the history of the Islamic Republic, for somebody to come publicly say that. And now he's reading it to us and he's saying like, look at the audacity that these people have.
So no one would say that to Rahula or the other guy. They
Oh my
wouldn't
God!
dare.
Like that would get you. Nobody would do like this. I you know when that video came out, or like I was like, holy crap! They're actually saying this out loud. Let's watch this. Let's hear this.
این چه نقشه‌ای کشیدن برای کنار گذاشتن رهبری نظام؟ اینا اومدن
Like look at the plans that they're making to push aside the supreme leader.
گفتن خب پس مجلس چه کار است، شما هم چه کار است در اداره مملکت. خب مجلس رو هم که 4 ماه تعطیل کردی. کی
Like they're telling us that if we do whatever the supreme leader says, then what's the point of having the parliament and also the Security Council? Now he's saying, well, you guys have closed down the parliament, so that only leaves your segment, which is you're like, okay, you're saying we shouldn't be listening to the supreme leader because we also have the Supreme Security Council and we also have the parliament, but you also close the parliament for 4 months. So that just leaves you, the Supreme Security Council, right?
It's like, oh yeah,
He's
it's
right.
not how. It's not just him. You know, we're sharing power here. They said, "What sharing power? It's just you now."
Yeah. It's
Is he?
you
So
now.
he's
You're
right. Like basically, they're going against each other. But this guy is not mistaken in what he's pointing out.
No. Yeah, he's pointing out something that is correct. Yeah.
قالیباف میماند فقط یک شام، یعنی طرح و نقشه اینها این است که کل اداره امور مملکت بیفته دست شام. شام هم
Like everything, they're closing everything, and they're just only leaving the Supreme Security Council. So their whole goal is to make all of the country just be controlled by the Supreme Security Council.
یعنی چی؟ یعنی آقای پزشکیان قالیباف و دوستان اینها.
Oh, he said Qalibaf. He said, what does it mean? What does the Supreme Security Council means? It means Pezeshkian and Qalibaf and their friends. That's what that means. Oh, he said Qalibaf. He mentioned them.
So he's putting himself in danger out here.
Yes, because, well, let me tell you why. After I play this, 19 seconds left.
این شبه کودتای سیاسی است که طراحی کردن و دارن پله به پله
I said this is the coup d'etat that they have planned.
جلو میبرن. مقام معظم رهبری از آقا
And they're going forward with this.
از برخی مسئولین به کل قطع امید کردن. مردم انقلابی ایران. رهبری
Okay, so now he's warning everybody to do something about it. Like, come do something about it.
نظام امیدشون به شما سپرد. شما در صحنه باید بمانید.
Like he's saying, your supreme leader has hope in you. People, come save your country.
در خیابان‌ها و میادین بمانید تا این توطئه رو
Like you have to stay in the streets. You have to stay in the streets.
خنثی کنید. این توطئه‌گران به حول قوه الهی عنقریب دستشان برای همه مردم رو خواهد شد ان شاء الله.
And like one day, like we will expose all of these people. God willing, we will expose all of these people. Okay, so this is interesting. Let me tell you why he should be worried. Because, I mean, so in the past week, there was somebody within the state TV, a TV presenter, that came out and took aggressive position against Qalibaf. And then 2 days ago, he died. They say he had a heart attack. And there was another person within the IRGC Navy, a high-ranking person, who was coming out to expose Qalibaf regarding how much he's giving up to the Americans. And he also died just 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, in a car accident, right? So I don't know what's happening, but a lot of people's perception is that these people, that was not a car accident, and that was not a heart attack, because the timing is very suspicious. I don't know what's happening, but that's what these people's understanding are. That Qalibaf is either buying people, like I told him to, hey Qalibaf, or threatening people, like I told him to, or eliminating people if they're against the MoU and the negotiations, right?
And
what
all
the
those
percentage-
ors could be and.
And exactly. No, yeah, sorry, I mean and. I didn't say I didn't. You're right. I didn't mean or. I mean and. He's doing all of this, right? So that's what was happening right now. So I think this was a very helpful video for you guys to get the most recent update regarding where we are at when it comes to the internal. I try to find the best because I have a lot of videos. That's not it. Like when it comes to the internal politics of the Islamic Republic, I have so much that I could fill like hours of drama within the politics of the Islamic Republic. But because I don't want to bore you and I also want to cover other stuff, I try to find the one video that gives you the best understanding of how much things are escalating. Let me know if let me know if that was helpful.
Specifically, this one has laid a lot of light, like been very enlightening as to the game of Durkas, right? That's being played. Right. People getting taken out. Like this makes a lot of sense. This helped me a lot, especially like understanding the branches of government. And we're making loose connections, but it's helping me translate it all into a frame of reference that's easy for me to dissect and understand. So yeah, I appreciate this video. This was very enlightening.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we are going to go to very soon. We are going to go to our discussion group because today we have a group call that is open to everybody. You can see it's open. That means it's free. That means everybody can join without becoming a VIP or premium member. So come there and join our group call. The link is in the chat. The link is in the QR code at the top left corner of your screen. The link is also in the description. And the link is also in the bio section of the Liberty Politics YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. So over there. So come over here, join the group call. I'll be there. Monkey will be there. You could talk to us, ask your questions, and talk to the other people in the group call. And yeah, we'll see you guys there. Or you could also, if you don't want to join our discussion group for some reason, you could just listen to it. You could come here to this live segment. And this is the next live that we're going to go in about 18 minutes. And we'll basically live stream the discussion in the group call. So that would be on Liberty Politics right here. So make sure not only you subscribe, you have your bell notification on so that when we go live, you get a notification that we're live over there, right? And also subscribe to Monkey. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to Monkey channel as well. We're trying to get him to 1,000.
I have a small question. Has there been a time saving thing where they changed the clocks? When they set the clock back an hour?
I don't know. You could ask me later.
For me, it's 2:00. It seems an hour early.
Ooh. Wait. Oh, yeah, you're right. We're going to go live. Oh, yes, we're going to go live in 1 hour.
In an hour?
Yes, you're right. Yes, I forgot. I have a meeting that I need to go to. So in 1 hour, you're right. In 1 hour.
So guys, in 1 hour, because if not, they're going to be there like, hey, I'm waiting here. What's happening? I wanted to clarify that.
In 1 hour. In 1 hour, yes. We're going to go in our discussion group in 1 hour and we'll be live in 1 hour. Sorry, thank you. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you, Monkey. Yes,
I'll be even more caffeinated because I'm going to go make more coffee.
Yeah. Okay, go make some coffee. All right, guys. We'll see you guys there. So see you guys in 1 hour right here on Liberty Politics. And until then, say it with me. I'm Israel Chai.
I'm Israel Chai. Ukraine.
Cuba Libre.
Cuba Libre.
Long live America.
America.
Javicha.
Payande, Iran.
See you guys soon.